and you could win $1,000. There's a word every hour of the day on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Enter as many times as you can so you can have a chance to win that money. So we were talking off the air, and I don't have a full gauge on this. I actually popped in on Corey and JoJo to see what they thought, because it's either a very interesting, fun angle, or we just need to put this to bed and be done with it, and I'm not sure which one it is. If you've been following along with the saga of Mo refusing to do comedy at the Beach Bash, and then us trying to get him to do a roast battle against Johnny B, he refused to do that. And this is another reason why I wish Just Call Mo was here, because he's potentially involved in this as well. Mo pretty much put a bug in my ear, and ultimately this will come down to what Johnny B wants to do or doesn't want to do, and he has the right to say no to anything at this point. He said, what if I just let Spike on the mic handle my light work, and I write the jokes for Spike. I think he actually used a Rocky analogy.
Yes.
I'm Rocky prepping Apollo Creed. He said it. The thing is, they don't. I'm not trying to stir things up any more than they already are. He had a name for Johnny.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he's out there just using jokes in multiple text threads.
Yep. He's recycling.
So, well
30 years of comedy, you're allowed to recycle.
Well, since he's doing that, and again, Johnny knows I love him, and we're good. And by the way, he had JJ Curry on with him earlier. He was the dude that was just on Kill Tony.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool.
JJ Curry was on my podcast a long time ago.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, now you need to get him on the come up.
Yeah.
Get him, be like, I had you when you were nothing, son. Let me get you back. I'm Rocky prepping Apollo Creed for Blubber Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there is some heat there.
Oh, there's absolutely heat, and I think Mo wears it a little bit more. I think Johnny probably has a little bit of like my tendencies in it, where he doesn't want to get into a legitimate beef with anybody. But undeniably, the storyline of Johnny B and Mo through the BDRS and swapping time slots and God knows what, coming from the same comedy competition or the same competition, I think there's just always been this rivalry, and I don't think that it's always friendly. But I'm not sure. What's your initial read on the idea of? And again, Johnny would have to commit to this, but
I think Johnny will commit, because I think now all he sees is, well, you're so scared to see me that you're having someone come in, go to bat for you. You know what I mean?
You
called your dad.
You have won at this point.
Yes.
You have absolutely won.
And now you get to roast two people instead of one. And if you start roasting Mo good and Spike's laughing at the jokes,
then yeah. You
basically already proved you won.
It could end up being, I think Mo's thinking it's a win-win for him, and in the end it could end up being a lose-lose for him. So I don't know.
Mo told me this, and I said, biggest issue I have, Spike can't read. So how is he going to read your jokes?
You have to like practice them.
Yeah. It's like Spike's not the best at like reading something out loud.
Oh, man.
He's that kid in class that when he's stuttering through, you're like, it's amendment. It's the word's amendment.
Today, Junior. Just like that. I don't know. If anybody has any thoughts on that, I'll take them. But maybe we'll just kind of let it breathe for a few days and revisit it next week. 800-771-1025. I want to I think we did this a couple times in the earliest days of Senning Show a few months back, an illicit ticket giveaway where you pretty much admit to something borderline illegal, if not fully illegal, that you have done in your life, and then I give you tickets for it. Let me see exactly what Mike Olivero, the sweet Mike Olivero, has lined up for us this week. And by the way, just a little friendly reminder, Brisket Shop this Saturday, 12 to 2. I'll be on with Mike O, and we're registering people for a chance to win a suite for the weekend for the Bone Beach Bash. You could be there in person with a room to see whatever menagerie ends up happening with Johnny B and potentially Spike and everybody involved. But we've got Offspring tickets, Counting Crow tickets, and tickets to see A Day to Remember and Yellow Card. And the jumping off point was an article that I saw this morning that said almost 1 in 10 workers in their 30s use alcohol, marijuana, or hard drugs like cocaine while on the job in the United States. A new study has found, and I really am just looking for you to admit, preferably the job that you have now, what substances you're using while working. I personally have been somebody, I will say this, in my young days, I took a lot of Adderall. Like that was
really?
when I was first started waiting tables at Applebee's, that was my Adderall phase. But I was actually, I don't even know if it counts because I was prescribed it. I was abusing it, but I also was prescribed it. That worked for a little bit. I've never been somebody who, for as much as I support the plant, love the weed, smoke the weed, I've never been someone who could be productive while being high. So I've never really had the cross section of having a job where I felt like I could be properly stoned or on any other drugs other than my youthful Adderall phase when I was waiting tables, which I think that kind of just made me feel like Superman.
And I feel like, so you said 9% of people?
1 in 10, 1 in 10 workers in their 30s, 9% using alcohol, marijuana, or hard drugs while on the job.
I feel like 7% is from the restaurant business.
It probably is.
Yeah.
And I will say, working in the restaurants, there were definitely times where I was drinking.
Yeah.
There were times where when you would bartend, you would, make yourself a little side drink, depending on the bar that you worked. My brother owned a bar, restaurant in Lake County.
He owned one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He actually owned, he was a part owner in like 3 businesses in Tavares for a long time. So I don't remember what phase this was in my life, but Danielle and I would go down there on Sundays, and it was this little beach bar, had sand right on the lake and all of that, and we would be taking shots and be loosened up the entire time. So there's a fine line, though. In some positions where you have to be social, I think the right amount of buzz can help you a little bit, but then you start getting over that line to when people are looking, you go, I think our server's wasted. I came here for some fish tacos, and this guy is hammered as all hell. I think there is a line on what you can get away with, no matter what your occupation is. The stoner, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the stoner is more likely to do their drug of choice, that being marijuana, throughout the day, through their work day, at work, than most other functioning addicts. Is that it? And I don't even know, that's up for debate if we want to call it being an addict.
Yeah.
But I think people who smoke and take it seriously, they're more likely to smoke while doing everything.
So are we going with people who have a drinking problem?
I think,
'Cause I feel like they would be the top ones who sneak drinks a lot.
well, it's hard to put them. You have to put them into little buckets, because I think there are people, functioning alcoholics is probably what you would call them, where I don't think you have to be drinking from sun up to sundown to be a quote-unquote alcoholic. If you wake up every day, go to work, don't have a drink, and the second the clock, you punch the clock, you're pounding Rumplemints and you're blackout every night by 7 o'clock, you are an alcoholic. You just are making the decision to not drink while you're at work. And I think there are more of those, although it's maybe not a fair comparison between weed and booze. I think there are more of those than there are weed heads that go, well, I'm not going to smoke before work. They're more likely to go, well, I'm just going to take a couple hits before I get to work.
Yeah. I would say, yes. I think the top 3 for me would be, in no order, would be the drinkers, the weed smokers, and then the ones who need a little bump to get them through the day.
Yeah,
because that's an addiction.
Well, and that's also feels like a white collar drug. Like I've never worked in a high energy, I'm thinking Wall Street investor bro, where these guys are churning and cooking up ideas and doing God knows what all day into the wee hours of the night. I imagine there's a fair amount of blow going around there.
From what I heard too, a big construction. A lot of people in there do a little get to work. Yeah, gets them, help them like, let me get through all these tasks and get through everything. And I've heard under good regard that people in construction like to do a little nose candy as well as mechanics.
Well, you could probably get away with it. You know what I mean? Like if you're being productive, then you're getting away with it. And that's probably where the weed, depending on your occupation, can be detrimental, because there's the cokehead over there. He just put up 15 sheets of drywall and he's killing the game. And, this dude just ripped a blunt out back and he's still trying to tie his shoes or something.
Exactly. And that's the thing, I think, that you hit it on the head right there. It's a lot of jobs that, like, if you get that little bump, you're going to fly through the day. and that's what they're looking for.
Have we ever properly
Did bumps
vetted,
together?
No, properly vetted all of the drugs that you've done in your life? Have you done? Is cocaine the most extreme drug you've done in your life?
Tried it twice, hated it both times.
Okay, we must have touched on.
Yeah,
this.
and it was the drip. I don't know if you remember that. I said I hated the drip.
Okay.
I mean, I
this is
didn't
all
like
coming back.
sniffing anything to begin
This
with.
is all coming back.
Yeah.
Man.
So
I will, since you're sharing, I'll share this, and it's not my proudest moment. The Adderall phase, not always oral consumption. I'll tell you that much.
some little bumps.
Which essentially, to me, from what I understand, is the same thing. I look back and I just look back at that era of my life. I'm like, what the hell were you thinking, man?
Yeah.
I was having fun. I will tell you, you want to know who I blame it on? Tech Nine. People say that you can't be negatively affected, or musicians can't make you do bad things. I was so into Tech Nine at that phase of my life, and his lyrics are so hardcore and so party oriented. It made me want to party. I can't put it all on music, but I was in a party mode, and it was musically motivated. Senning Show, you're live on the air. It's an illicit ticket giveaway. What kind of drugs you doing at work?
Well,
you don't have to give us your name, by the way. Nobody has to give us their real name on the air. Just so you know, we can figure that out after the fact. So but you do have to come up with a sexy fake name. Quasi?
I made it up, yeah.
Hey, Quasi, good to talk to you.
In the construction industry, which I'm in, yes, everybody's on something. So you actually have specific groups. You've got the guys that smoke weed, you got the guys that drink all day long, and you got the guys that do some bumps.
Now, when you say construction, that is a very broad term, because I think you could be doing construction on the road. You can be what kind of construction game are you in? Are we talking commercial, residential?
Residential home construction.
Oh, really? And you're saying everybody is on some form of mind-altering substance at all times?
It's a pretty awful job. I mean, I get it. Why you need to get into that headspace before you can sit out there and do that all day long. But I will say that the bumpy guys, obviously they tend to get a little bit more done.
I would think so. I would think so. What about the one thing, and my dad worked in construction, and obviously I think he gave me a lot of my life lessons from pertaining to drugs regarding things that he's witnessed like this. What if a guy shoots a nail gun through his damn foot or his face, or he falls off of some scaffolding or something, and he's all coked out of his mind or high as hell? That could probably cause some troubles when it comes to getting covered and maybe even keeping their job.
It might be a problem keeping their job, but they're 1099, so it's not an actual position.
Oh, okay.
So it's really not a problem with the company, I guess, so to speak. It's kind of on you.
I understand. Thank you, Quasi. I really appreciate it.
Speaking of bumps, I got a text from Mo. He said he can hop in.
I think he also. I didn't tell him that Mo DeWitt wasn't here, so I'd want to kind of save that and until we can add Mo DeWitt in, because he also is a pivotal player. And let me text Mo real quick. Mo DeWitt is not in today, so we will do it another time and talk about how you pussed out. You little bitch boy. There we go. Sent. Senning Show, you're on the air.
Yo, what's going on, boys?
Who's this? You can give me a fake name if you want.
It's Francisco.
Francisco, welcome to Senning Show. What's up?
Yeah, man. Just talking about illicit things that happen in the workplace, man. There was a point in my life where I was doing ketamine and cocaine at work.
Whoa! What kind of job were you? What kind of job can you do while on ketamine and coke?
I was waiting tables, man, at freaking Applebee's. So I pretty much hated my life and was partying a lot.
Dude, a fellow Apple buddy. I love hearing from my Apple buddies. I love hearing from you. Dude, I'm so, I don't know if you've heard us talk about it, but myself, JP does it, Drew's does it as well. We do ketamine therapeutically in a doctor's office, and I could never fathom what it's like walking around in the world on ketamine. It feels like you wouldn't be able to function very well.
Yeah, you got your space boots on for sure. Sometimes you look down and you're like, wow, I'm walking right now. But yeah, man, I kind of started I was doing a lot of psychedelics, so it kind of started in a therapeutic, esque kind of setting where it was more about the psychedelic aspect of it, and
While working?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying,
I was going to say tripping
No,
while
prior to
doing
working.
anything does not seem like it would be productive for anyone.
No, not entirely.
All right. Well, we'll just hang tight. Right now, line 4, ketamine and coke while waiting tables. You're the front runner for the illicit ticket giveaway. I'll give you that much. I'm trying to really think about the most dangerous job you could functionally do while on drugs. And the first thing that popped into my mind, and I think maybe it's because we had somebody call years ago on Drew Garabo Live with this. He was a high-rise window cleaner, and he said he had never cleaned a window not stoned. So he would be however many hundreds of thousands of feet in the air, however many stories up there, and his little bucket just blazed out of his mind cleaning windows. And that feels like, I don't know the safety mechanisms of it, so I don't know. You forget to latch this, and next thing you know, you're falling out. But when it comes to just hitting the windows, I think you'd probably be able to pull it off pretty good while stoned, even though it is incredibly dangerous.
Me, I couldn't do tasks like that if I'm smoking. I wouldn't want to. You know what I mean?
To me, those are the ones. I wouldn't want to be that high up in the air because I'd probably be freaked out. But when it comes to the monotony of it, those are the only jobs I would be able to do. I'd just be like, swipe the window, swipe the window. That would be I wouldn't be able to use any critical thinking or anything that made me think too hard. I'm just wipe this window until it's clean and we're good.
But I feel like that one window will take you 50 minutes. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's called going the extra mile, man. That's not too bad. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
Let's say it's Tracy.
Hey, Tracy. How you doing today? I love hearing from a lady on a Thursday. What's going on?
I'm good, thanks. How are you boys doing?
Really, really good, I'd say. This week has flown by kind of. I don't want to jinx it, but this week has flown by and we're cruising towards the beach bash next week, so everything is good in our world.
Sounds like fun. So I used to work in the pharmacy.
Oh, wow.
For many years I worked in the pharmacy, and I was the lead pharmacy technician at my store. I was there for 13 years. I handled everything. I was in charge of the perpetual inventory on the narcotics and all kinds of stuff. But what I did that was a bad thing was I was in charge of the inventory.
Oh, man.
And I used to get some substances and sell them to a dealer.
Oh, my gosh. You are illicit, Tracy. Wow. How long ago was this?
This was in the 2000s.
What?
2008, 2010.
What? So you were probably riding the OxyContin wave at that point. Was that your number one seller?
No, I didn't do the narcotics because if we did that, the feds would get involved with it. But
so what do you?
I got stuff like Darvocet and Soma, and that's like a huge muscle relaxant.
Yeah,
People are super addicted to that.
What about Viagra? You ever do any boner pills?
No. We used to get guys that would come by the pharmacy all the time and say, I want my free sample of Viagra. And I was like, why are you advertising that you need it?
Yeah, exactly. So were you at any point making more money off of your side drug dealing hustle than you were from the actual pharmacy?
Yeah, and I was making good money in the pharmacy. At that time, I was making almost $20 an hour.
What made you stop? Did you get scared, or did it just run its course, or did you just stop doing that job?
No, I stopped doing the job. I got pregnant and had to get put on bed rest. So.
Oh wow! You didn't get impregnated by anybody that you were selling drugs to, did you?
No, it was my husband. That was a legit thing. But yeah, I did that for years, and nobody ever, because I was the one that signed off on all the stuff the overstock and anything that was expired. And boy, if it was expired, I took it real fast. Dude,
Tracy, I'm going to put you on hold. You're absolutely getting something. Dude, that's a great premise for like a Breaking Bad type spinoff. Like a mommy who's a pharmacist who needs money on the side, and she starts selling some of the product.
I wonder how many people do that in positions like that. Like, is that like a problem, you think?
I would
in
think
there?
it's super regulated. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
Well,
our
not
dear
that
friend,
bad.
our dear friend Tracy, she was signing the paperwork, so that makes it a little bit easier. But I would think that there are so many checks and balances now, especially like she said with narcotics. By the way, not to get too sidetracked here, and we're going to take more of your calls. You came in with a McDonald's bag. You have a red drink. Are you celebrating? Only because I saw people posting about it today. Are you celebrating Crunchwrap Day or Snack Wrap Day?
No, I just had some nuggies.
Oh, I think today's the day. Today was the day the Snack Wrap came out.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. Nicole just was stopping off, and she's like, "I'm gonna get you something." I was like, "Nothing crazy." She's like, "How about?"
Oh,
nuggets?
so you weren't even there for it.
No.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to make you too sad, but I think you missed out on the Snack Wrap Day.
I might get one a little later then.
Yeah, dude, treat
Snack
yourself.
wraps. You said you weren't a snack wrap guy.
I never
though.
even had one in my life.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, but treat yourself. Senning Show, you're live on the air.
Hello.
Hey, who's this?
This is, well, my friends call me Mark Ass Buster.
Oh, Mark Ass Buster. I like that. What's up, Mark Ass Buster?
I just wanted to share mine real quick. So, before I moved to Tampa, I lived over in North Miami Beach, and we worked for let's say a corporate rib place. And on our lunch break, because we always did doubles, so on our lunch break, we'd go one block down to the Russian bar, and they had 3-for-1s.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'd have myself 3 double vodkas on the rocks, and then as we walk back, another friend that was with us.
By the way,
he
before you go on, vodka on the rocks has to be the most serial killer like beverage that you
that's
could ever
crazy.
drink. I mean, it's like you get whiskey on the rocks, maybe even if you had a rum on the rocks, but vodka on the rocks, that is for somebody who's got one thing in mind, and that's getting wasted quickly.
Exactly.
All right, so you get your 3 vodka
we're
on
only on our break.
Yeah, you get your 3 vodkas on the rocks, and then what happens?
And then as we walk back, one of the girls, she always sparked up a turbo blunt. You know what that is?
I'm gonna guess. I don't know, but does it have cocaine in it?
You got it.
That's a Cocoa Puff from what I heard.
Oh, a Cocoa Puff.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Does that even
Over
work?
there
Well, I
they
guess
call
it
them
does,
turbos.
right? I guess it does work because people freebase Coke, so I guess you can smoke Coke, right?
I would hope that it works in some capacity if you're doing that.
You're wasting your Coke
Yeah,
on
it's a little
a
different.
man. So you're 3.
I feel like your teeth would hurt.
See, I don't know, but I don't know enough
Yeah,
about that.
it definitely makes you forget about the double vodkas.
And then what? And then you'd be able to pull it off, or did you eventually get fired because you were a complete mess?
Yeah, no, we'd toast. My one buddy was the bartender, so we'd all go back and he'd be making his margaritas in to-go cups for the rest of the night. And once we got off, we just, go hard the rest of the night.
Now, are
But that
you
was pretty much
a
every
drinker
day.
to this day? Because that's pretty hardcore, even for a party phase. Are you still putting down double vodkas these days?
Well, I'm actually happy to say I quit during COVID, so I've been sober since 2020.
You said you quit Coke during COVID, or you quit everything?
No, I quit everything, but what I use my medical card for.
Okay, it's
Nice,
okay.
nice.
It's weed. We can say that here.
Yeah.
Well, you Mark Ass
Yep.
Buster. Hold on. I'm going to put you on hold. The other guy on line 4 hung up. So between you and Tracy, the drug dealing pharmacist, I think you guys can get yourself hooked up.
I got a comment from someone on Twitter. It does numb your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, if you smoke it.
Yeah.
Dude, this
You would
is.
think.
Well, here's the thing. I want to preface this by saying everything I say here is for entertainment purposes. In the next couple sentences, I have no interest in doing coke.
Yeah.
Just not something that I have interest in doing.
Except at the beach bash.
No. Well.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, you said well there.
Well, there is a well. Dude, the people who take it and they
Oh,
put it
yeah.
up they do the gummers.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I have that's when you got a problem.
Oh, when you got a problem? I thought it was like Coke Light. Like it was like
Really?
it was like Diet Coke. It's like some sort of Coke experience without having it running directly into your bloodstream.
Well, see, I thought the opposite, that you're absorbing it quicker.
Oh, like you're
because
just trying to get it into your brain very, very fast.
Coke users, let us know on Twitter.
Well, the other thing is too, now I'm not interested first and foremost. Secondly, the era of just randomly doing Coke is gone. Imagine that, it comes across the 5 o'clock news, local radio star dies of fentanyl overdose in bathroom in downtown St. Pete. I don't think, unless you're testing it or somehow trust your dealer more than anybody on planet Earth, I wouldn't want to take the risk of doing a drug that might just have me dropping dead instantaneously.
Yes, that's the thing. See, when I was in my single phase and I was out there hitting them streets, I was all for the Molly and stuff like that.
You would just and that now too, right?
And that's the thing. And I was like, I got to a point where it was like, is the risk worth the reward?
No,
because like I am having fun now, but it only takes one, and I'm down. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
You're dead.
And even if I'm not dead from it, it could tweak something in your brain seriously. So I'm like, what's the point in this? Like,
dude,
I could just have fun another way.
You're having fun. You're thinking you're living your best life. You're sucking on a pacifier and dancing to a Darude sandstorm. And the next thing you know, you wake up and you got a needle in your chest like Pulp Fiction. And
Yeah.
you're like, you just died, man. Welcome back to Earth. So, that is, I just think those days of being able to casually take a pill or snort something are long gone around these parts.
That's why I only enjoy the things that come from Earth.
That's very responsible.
Yeah.
I like a responsible.
I got responsible with my habits.
You're a dad now. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Illicit ticket giveaway. We're highlighting this story that says 9% of people in their 30s are using alcohol, marijuana, hard drugs like cocaine while working in the United States of America. In your confession, can win you a prize here today. Who's this?
Hey, this is Luigi. Happy Thursday, guys.
Hey, Luigi. What's up, buddy?
Yes, sir. Well, bringing back some of the flashbacks, listening to these guys calling in. A couple of years ago, I used to be a dialysis technician. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but patients would come in with renal failure, and we'd have to stick them with these 2-inch needles. They have like these tubes in their arms that kind of look like McDonald's straws, and they're about that thick. So you had to get the needle in this tube to get sucked into this machine to purify their blood.
Wow.
Yes. So anybody that's listening now that's a tech, dialysis tech, they're definitely laughing. And I used to rave back in the days, and sometimes I wouldn't get any sleep. And believe it or not, I was actually pretty good at, we'd have like 4 or 5 patients we had to watch every 4 hours. And a lot of times I wouldn't get sleep, but I'd still go into these things drunk, taking care of these people, and I still did a great job. I was actually manager of my shift.
Damn, so you were injecting people with large straw-like needle apparatuses to help their kidneys function while you were still rolling balls a little bit and drunk.
Yes, rolling the big B's. Yes, rolling the big B's. And the funny thing is, a lot of the nurses weren't as good as I was, so they would call me. They say, hey, Luigi, get over here and help me. Get over here and help me. And sure enough, I just still rolling and switching face, you name it, and I would do a good job.
Did anybody ever say, Luigi, you smell like you've been boozing all night long, buddy? What's going on with you? You never got in any trouble for looking or smelling like you've been out all night?
No, because back in the days it was more like cigarettes and coffee, and it was more X and some of the other good stuff. So it wasn't barely alcohol. It was more of the good stuff that just keep you up all night and functional, actually.
Well, I have to say that's terrifying, and you will now make me have a second guessing every doctor's appointment I have for the rest of my life. But you got to imagine with being a doctor and having an important job, it also comes with money. And a lot of times when people have money, that's when they will dabble into certain lifestyles and do certain things that maybe they wouldn't before. So I don't like to think too much about how many doctors are out there on some sort of mind-altering substance while performing their job. You ever seen that show, What Would You Do? That was on.
That's most people.
I think we may have talked about it, but there was one episode that I remembered vividly because it was a what would you do, and they go into a bar and it's a table of doctors that are at a high top right behind the bar. There's people all around them. And they just start getting wasted. They start getting wasted. And then the one doctor eventually is like, I got to get into surgery. I can't believe I got to do surgery in 15 minutes. And then they would try to see if the people around them would stop them or say anything. And if I remember correctly, nobody said anything to any of the doctors who were openly saying that they were wasted about to go perform surgery. Not that they actually were, but.
Do you think you would have said something in that scenario? You just hear some doctors and like, I gotta go to surgery. Yeah. You're probably just gonna go, someone's about to get paid.
I'd be snitching, dog. You know that snitching's in my blood. So
who'd you snitch to?
See, that's the thing is I don't know. I think my mind would go, tell somebody at the restaurant, because I don't know if this is true, but it's like if you were a bartender and you got somebody too wasted and they went out and killed somebody while they were driving.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a connection to just go, hey, I feel like you guys should know this table next to me, they're doctors. And this person says that they're going into surgery in 15 minutes and they're completely wasted. And I think that would be enough on my conscience to then let it go and then hope that something happens.
Okay. No, that makes more sense. I get that.
It's my only option. I mean,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? Call the hospital?
Hey, my man's going to Karen when he gets to Karen.
Dude, when I get to, and dude, it's
He's not Karen,
it's
he's Karen.
Carin. I stay Karen all the time. And I'm calling the hospital and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for the supervisor of a guy who may or may not be drinking at the bar next door. He's,
Got the right one? Nope. All right, I'll check another one.
Yeah,
and you
that-
hang up,
that
you check the
feels-
next one.
That feels like it would be very tough to locate that person's boss. Let's do one more call, and then we're going to step aside. We'll have Captain Planet when we come back. Senning Show, you're on the air. Who's this?
What's up, fellas? This is Grizzly.
Grizzly. What's up?
Yeah. So I'm a lineman. I don't really want to say where, but
you don't have to say anything.
But I've dabbled in a lot of things in my career, and there's been times where I've snorted heroin while hot railing meth back to back.
Whoa. How long ago was
blizzard?
How long ago was like when was the day? How long ago was the day that you were doing heroin
I
and
would
meth?
say probably like 2 years ago was the last time.
Oh, damn. Is this because you got me thinking when you said linemen about when all of these linemen come in from different states and different places to help clean up after a storm. Would that be like peak drug use, or are you talking just like a regular Tuesday afternoon?
It's usually just a Tuesday afternoon kind of thing.
Dude, that is hard. But so
usually during storms, it's more drinking involved.
where do you stand now? Like, are you still doing that? And what kind of drugs are you still doing?
No, I've kind of switched over to more of like just Adderall and cocaine, really. But
Well, that's very responsible. of
yeah,
you.
good for you.
Good for you, man. I appreciate it.
Small steps.
Give me one more growl, Grizzly, man, and I'll give you some tickets. Good deal. Thank you. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Captain Planet himself, Garrett Stewart. If you've never heard of him, a lot of people know about him. He's got tons of followers on social media. He is a big activist for the environment in the state of Florida, specifically the Everglades. And he's been out there. He's been out there right at the front gates of Alligator, Alcatraz, and trying to inform people of what is going on when it comes to the environment. I haven't really grasped it. I mean, me having him on, first of all, I'm a big fan. Secondly, I'm looking to learn. I don't, as far as some other people believe, think that this is a concentration camp where they're going to just be killing migrants. I don't necessarily believe all of that, but I also don't love the idea of the federal government coming in and just trampling all over, some of our finer places in the state of Florida and possibly affecting a bunch of stuff there in the Everglades. So we're going to talk to Captain Planet when we come back. He's a really, really good dude. We'll have that and a bunch more coming up next on more Senning Show.
Yo, fellas, y'all ready to do this?
What's up, guys?
Boys are in effect. Yeah, and it's about
It's that time of year. Everybody is moving, packing, unpacking, all that bubble wrap. But the first thing you should know when you're moving into a new home is that you got to make sure that Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity. It's super quick and it's easy to set up, and then boom, you're going to have your new home hooked up with the ultimate Wi-Fi experience faster than it takes you to parallel park a moving truck. Then you're going to be back online with the most reliable Wi-Fi with the best in-class equipment from Xfinity, so you can kick back, relax, and stream your favorite movies, TV shows while someone else deals with all those boxes. Because with Xfinity, the only thing you got to worry about is remembering where you packed the remote. Make the right and easy move with Xfinity today. You can learn more at Xfinity.com/move. Keep it locked to the bone. We got another word. Your chance at $1,000 coming up at 2 o'clock as well.
back in school. We used to dream about this every day. Could it really happen? Or do dreams just fade away?
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Download the free Bone app to listen to us anywhere. Sponsored by Mark Spain Real Estate. Get your guaranteed offer at markspain.com.
At Bernetti PA, our team will tell you that our number one priority is striving for the best customer service in the industry. I'm honored by the number of referrals we get from our current and past clients. They trust us. Why shouldn't you? Call 1-800-BURNETTI. We're ready. Offices Tampa, Lakeland, Pinellas.
Downtown St. Pete got a whole lot thirstier. It's the grand opening of Thirsty First at our new location on Central Avenue. Catch the UFC fights, groove to a DJ, or relax in the upstairs VIP lounge. There's something for everyone. Come check out our new vibe. You're going to love it. Thirsty First.
What's the Anajar Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most. Getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Tampa.
Hello there, my afternoon chillers. It is I, the king of chill, John Senning. And let me tell you about a night that's taking Tampa Bay by storm. Trivia night under the Tiki at Cava Social Club in downtown Bradenton. If you think you got the brains to back it up, Thursday is the night and the Cava Social Club is the spot. Hosting is the one and only Ryan C., who curates the ultimate trivia experience from pop culture to music, movies, history, and so much more. He brings the perfect mix that keeps teams coming back every single week. The competition is friendly, but don't let that fool you. Things can get intense. The variety of prizes is impressive, and these teams come to win. If you think you got what it takes to take down the other teams, or maybe you're new in town and looking to join a crew, either way, Cava Social Club has you covered. It's the perfect place to test your knowledge, make new friends, and enjoy some of the freshest Cava and Kratom teas while you play. Gather your team or come solo. Make sure you check out the Cava Social Club online at thecavasocialclub.com and on all their social medias at Cava Social Club. Boola, baby.
Hi, this is Steve Hurley, owner of Stingray Chevrolet, where we have completely eliminated the dealer fee. This will automatically save you up to $1,500. You have a choice because at Stingray there is no dealer fee. So when we say relax and enjoy the difference, that difference can save you a lot.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Summer is here, so if you are thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can sell your home quickly and for maximum value. Hey, it's JP, and you can skip all the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly without the stress of showings, open houses, and those costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed all-cash offer allows you to sell your home in as little as 21 days and move when you're ready. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Hi, I'm attorney Fran Hosh. Being involved in a car or motorcycle accident can be stressful. I've dedicated my career to helping accident victims and their families. If you've been injured in a motorcycle or car accident, I can help. Give me a call at 866-LAW-FRAN or visit me online at lawfran.com. Main office, Palm Harbor.
Sports allow us to play, learn, and grow. But there's something more important than victory. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we believe every athlete deserves to be safe. Safe from abuse and misconduct on and off the field. We equip athletes, parents, coaches, and others with the right education to recognize, prevent, and respond to harmful behavior. Join the movement to champion respect and end abuse at uscenterforsafesport.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Get to the Brisket Shop on Armenia in Tampa this Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. The Mike O Radio Show will broadcast live. Meet up with John Senning and Monica and enter to win a room to the sold-out Bone Summer Beach Bash at the Sky Beach Resorts, where you can experience the Friday night pig roast with Wild Fork Foods and the Brisket Shop.
Car accident? Take back control of your life. Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio, sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You might know nothing, but at least you'll know that thing. Brought to you by Just Call Mo, Tampa's injury attorney. That thing. It's time for That Thing, right now on Senning Show.
1, 2, you know what to do.
Welcome back to Senning Show. I'm John Senning. He is Dizzy. 800-771-1025. Thank you to everybody who played along with us last segment.
I go to the Green Mountain State.
I have been a fan of this man for many, many years. We had him on Drew Garabo Live probably, got to be 5+ years ago. And I think he's so great in so many different ways. I think he brings a new face and a new energy to informing people about environmental issues. He is the founder and CEO of the Eco Preservation Project here in the state of Florida. Some people call him Captain Planet. His legal name is Garrett Stewart. You can find him on Facebook. That's where I see a lot of his stuff. And he joins us on the line right now to let us know what the hell's really going on down in the Everglades. Garrett, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up? What's up, homies? How we doing? Long time no see. You're here.
Dude, it's so good to hear your voice, man. How the hell you been?
I've been awesome. You know me. I hide out in the swamps. But sometimes you got to crawl out the swamps to raise a little ruckus, and raise a little information.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to get some of the specifics because I think everything is just kind of in bullet points right now as far as what people are getting in regards to Alligator, Alcatraz. A lot of people politically motivated have their thoughts and opinions. But I have to say first, I remember growing up in Diz, I don't know if you had somebody like this, but we had a place called Skinner Lake where we would go like in elementary school, and there would be like an old man who would tell you about the environment and teach you about different animals and trees and stuff. And he was cool and nice and everything. But I feel like I would have learned so much if there would have been a dude like Captain Planet that I could have learned from as a young boy.
You got to make it rad.
And you do absolutely. You make it rad in every way possible. And you can check out ecopreservationproject.com. So give us some of the biggest misconceptions or unknown things about Alligator Alcatraz, because I've heard a couple quotes from you, and I'm not going to steal your thunder, and I hope you get to them about where you stand on why this is so wrong with what's going on with this migrant detention center in the heart of the Everglades.
Well, let's take an example right now of the state parks issue that Florida was facing. Which my woman, she helped lead that fight. I'm talking about here the other summer where all of a sudden we found out that they were wanting to make little hotels and golf courses and pickleball courses in our state parks like Jonathan Dickinson State Park.
And people were pissed. There was an uprising.
This was a nonpartisan issue.
It felt like it. And
you know what I mean? I'm a nature guy.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I'd be curious real quick. Real quick, I'd be curious. Do you look at Ron DeSantis as a friend of the environment in the state of Florida?
Not right now. That's what he ran on. He ran on being a champion for the Everglades and Everglades restoration, and now he spits in our faces by putting a blood clot in the middle of that flow. We're jeopardizing billions of dollars of investment so we can spend $500 million a year to put a blood clot in the middle of it. So absolutely, he's no friend of mine right now. He's no friend of nature's right now. This is disrespectful to the indigenous tribes. This is disrespectful to humanity, and this is disrespectful to nature. And that's why I've always come at this with an environmental stance. I like humans, don't get me wrong, but I'm a nature guy. You'll often find me in the places where you'll find the least amount of humans.
Right.
Like the Everglades. And I would be against this if it was 5,000 scientists that they were wanting to put out there to house to save the Everglades. I'd be against it if it was 5,000 cute puppy dogs, and I love cute puppy dogs.
Yeah, who doesn't?
But that environment can't handle that. It can't handle that.
So what is your response?
I was getting at before?
Oh yeah, go for it.
What I was getting at before is to be clear with this issue. You looked at our state parks issue, and both sides of the fence, both the left and the right, stood together and saved this from happening. We made legislation change and laws change to where this could never happen to our state parks again, right? So what did Mr. Ronnie do here? He used immigration to make a divide on what was clearly a nonpartisan issue. Floridians are against taking their public lands away. They are against ruining our beautiful pieces of nature that we still have left in the state of Florida. We've made that loud and clear. So now they sat there and used immigration to cause a divide, and now we have come in a situation where we're destroying the Everglades, and I hear part of Florida cheer. That's disturbing to me. Your government's come in like a rattlesnake and made you jump to the left or the right with no time for thought. And we got to take some time to think about this. How this to me doesn't seem very Republican. Doesn't seem like something conservative and conservation. They're using immigration stance to cause a divide, and we're going to lose a very, very delicate part of our ecosystem because the government played a little snake trick, like a rattlesnake. So we need to be clear on that from the get-go, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on here so that I can speak.
Yeah, and I appreciate you making time. And I'm really curious when it comes to some of the specifics, because I guess you would say supporters and people that say there's nothing from an ecological standpoint to be worried about, that all of the infrastructure was already there. These runways, these concrete slabs, they were already there. So can you run through just a few of the tangible, real things that are happening to the Everglades and to the environment because of this operation being a thing?
Absolutely. People think of that as like, oh, we're not causing any harm. You ought to see what it looks like at night just from my house 3.5 miles away. I mean, it looks like Yankee Stadium in the Everglades. Just the light pollution alone, you're disturbing all the nocturnal animals. Maybe some of you guys in Florida remember when you were kids, a little bug called the lightning bug.
Oh, yeah. Whatever
Knuckle man, too. I like to pray a lot. So I come up here to the biggest bog, the biggest swamp in the lower 48 states. The biggest swamp in the lower 48 states to do some prayers. And, man, every couple hours we got to pull over and clean our windshield because all the bugs. You remember when that was like that in Florida?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't happen anymore. Like we don't even hardly see love bugs anymore. Like we're messing things up. All the sprays that we have and different things, and and our attempt to kill the mosquitoes, we're killing everything that also eats mosquitoes. We're killing everything that pollinates and how nature works. The insect nation is very, very critical part of nature. And it's a blessing being where I'm at right now. I come up to send up some prayers from up here and head back to the Everglades. But it's a blessing to see places where the insects are still just like they were when we were kids, like just crazy amounts of them because they're not spraying toxins. So it's nice to get to see a place and be reminded of maybe these poisons aren't a good idea.
So would you say that the light pollution, if you were making the power rankings of bad things that this Alligator Alcatraz is doing to the environment, is that number one, or are there other things that the average person are not clued into?
You have light pollution, you have nutrient pollution, you have chemical and oil pollution, you have sound pollution. All of these things drive the homies away, the animals. Like I said, with those lightning bugs, that light pollution is going to mess up their mating pattern. And then the things that eat them get messed up. Then before you know it, that endangered wood stork that has the highest population in that same area, then they start struggling. The panther is also endangered. That's its highest population area right there. And they start struggling. We're going to risk the last 160 Florida Panthers left in the world.
It's crazy.
For a political stunt. And we're going to allow our government to just use us like little pawns against each other. Like, man, I feel like I'm watching one of those old Greek movies right now where the gods are up there like playing chess with people,
It's very much like that.
Stuff.
We are,
it's
pawns.
just insane. We're not thinking for ourselves anymore.
Do you think Garrett, and we're talking to Garrett Stewart, you can find him on Facebook. He is known to many as Captain Planet. He's the CEO and founder of the Eco Preservation Project. Do you think, and I know that you're a positive man and you probably believe in manifestation and you got to make it real. Is there any hope that this gets pulled back, or at this point do you feel like it's already?
100%.
What's it going to take?
100%. Like my auntie Betty Osceola says, you have to have hope. The minute you start losing hope, you've already lost the battle. There isn't a doubt in my mind whatsoever, not a shadow of a doubt that we're going to stop this.
Oh, wow.
People forget why that airstrip is there to begin with. They wanted to build the world's largest airport out there in the Everglades, guys. And they started making it. And the tribes, the Gladesmen, Marjorie, all the people, the environmentalists, they all stood together. And even though they started building the world's largest jet port, they still stopped it. They never gave up. They stopped it just like we're going to do, y'all. Just like we're going to do. And when this got attention from Nixon back then, who was also a Republican president, so I don't know. This is why I'm saying this doesn't sound very Republican to me. When Nixon got involved, he said, hey, this is crazy. We're going to kill the Everglades for this? How about we make the nation's first national preserve and call it the Big Cypress National Preserve? This site that we're talking about at Jetport is when America started caring about the environment. He also went as far, old Nixon, to go, you know what? Maybe we even need a thing called the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. And he started that. All because of this site. That same site is where Earth Day got started. Y'all have heard of Earth Day.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
My favorite day of the year.
Yeah. Is it always on 420?
My favorite day of the year.
Yeah.
Every day's Earth Day to me, though.
Exactly.
But, we have to stay positive and we have to stay in prayer, too. Like people think of me as a science man because I'm a scientist, but I'm also a spiritual person. Like I pray a lot. And people would think that that's the opposite thing, but it's not. It's just different languages. Science calls it energy. Religion calls it spirit. The streets call it vibe. It's all the same stuff, but we got to stay focused and pray for that Makoche, that lands of the Everglades, and remember that in our heart, how important it is to not only just Floridians, but everyone in the world. It's not Florida's Everglades, guys. It's the world's Everglades. It's the only ecosystem on the planet that is like that. So we're not going to let any kind of thing get in the way of hurting it, no matter what it is. No matter if a rattlesnake comes along and tries to make it a snaky situation with government, like they've done with the immigration thing. It's turning people against each other that normally would have been together. We saw that just a few months ago when everybody stood together and got behind the new legislation to stop the Florida state parks from ever getting developed. It was pretty clear on both sides.
That is crazy. I never made that connection, but that really did become a nonpartisan issue, and everybody. And we had Honeymoon Island out here, that everybody was pissed about.
Republicans that helped us stop it.
Yeah,
So this doesn't sound very Republican to me. This is crazy. Like, it's just absolute nuts. Like, we're taking a sensitive topic like immigration that some people feel very strongly about and using it in a situation where they're going to get their foot in the door in the Everglades for development. And they figured out a way to take the majority of Florida and somehow cheer as we destroy the Everglades.
It's something. It's sure something
that's
to see.
Horrible, dude. That's horrible.
It is.
We're not
it's
thinking.
Something to see.
We have clear cognitive thinking brains. Let's use them, guys.
We're trying. It's hard to see the forest through the trees, no pun intended, in this modern day with so much information and everybody wants you to believe something else. But I believe at the end of the day that Floridians care more about the environment than maybe it seems on paper. And, if all of the things you've shared here today, I hope that if those are the cases and it's going to be that bad long term that Floridians as a whole might come to their senses and maybe find another spot for this.
Absolutely. And another great page to follow, like on Facebook, if you guys want to help. And I'm talking, when I say you guys, I'm talking to the listeners, not you, bub. But is Floridians for Public Lands. That's my girl's page that she started to stop the state parks. And when she beat the state parks issue, she went and figured, hey, might as well just protect more of public lands, which is what this is. That she's always talking about what legislation you got or what congressman you got to call, and that's how I know what to do on that stuff, because I don't know politics, and to me I don't really trust the government that much.
Nor should you. It's a dirty game, my friend. I think that's we can all agree upon that
stuff. Like, and my Auntie Betty understands that stuff. I don't. So when it comes to stuff like that, I lean towards people I trust. To get information like that, okay, I call this number and I say this. All right, cool. And when you call, you email, you be respectful, you be polite. If you come at me with a problem and you start yelling at me, good luck, dude. I've already drawn a line between me and you. I don't care what your side is. I ain't on it.
Rightfully.
But if somebody comes to me with a problem and they're polite and sincere, I listen to them. And the suits and politicians, they're no different. You speak to them nicely. When you watch me go into those commissioner meetings, you never see me yell. You always see me thank them and treat them polite, no different than I would treat my family. And when you do that, people listen more. Their hearts open more. They don't just feel defensive because you put them in a defensive situation. So remember to use your manners and use your positivity and be mindful through all this.
I think that's something we can definitely all agree upon. Is a little more civility in this life would go a long way. Hit him up on social media, Garrett Stewart. You can check out the ecopreservationproject.com. Garrett, Captain Planet, as I like to call you. I appreciate you making time today, and you've definitely taught us a thing or two today. So thanks for hanging with us for a minute, and keep at it.
If you want me again, you just let me know, big homie.
All right.
I really appreciate you guys using your voice and letting me use mine.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right. See you, bub.
Later. Captain Planet, if you need him. Interesting man. Very interesting man.
He sounded like sober Fritz.
He's got the voice. He's like the
Fritz.
chill, down to earth nature. He's a very, very interesting man. And the thing is, ultimately, I want to be informed on stuff like that. And I think he does have a point in when everybody wanted to come and take the parks in Florida to build hotels and golf courses, almost everybody was pissed off about it. Because I think it just felt unnecessary. And because of what this is, and people care so strongly about it, I think they're willing to overlook the fact that this is an area in the middle of a preserve that has been protected for a very long time. And again, I am not somebody who buys into the extreme belief, we're deporting these people. I'm going to say that I take the government at face value, where these people will be here for a limited period of time. They will house them, and then they will use that runway, and they will get them out of here. I don't have major, insane, over-the-top issues with what's happening in general, but I don't like it coming at the cost of one of our most fragile resources and places in the state of Florida that is the Everglades. So it's he said he doesn't have any doubts, and I didn't want to tell him this when he was on the line. I don't see a scenario where they walk it back. I think it is there. The people are in there. It is built. It is done. Other than an act of God, which is probably a hurricane coming through and wiping the whole thing out, I don't know what it would take, because there are active lawsuits right now of environmentalists trying to get it shut down. I just think I think it's done. I think the ship has sailed. And really, I want to know more. So the light pollution, the nutrients that run off and stuff like that, it's not great. It's not even good at all. But I would be curious to know, as time goes on, more of the long-term ramifications of what putting that there does. A lot of people calling. Can't wait to hear what people's thoughts were on Captain Planet. Senning Show, you're live on the air.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Oh, man. Captain Planet calling back in.
Captain Planet's younger brother. Hold on, Fritz. I want to talk to you, but I know
Captain Earth.
I know people. He's Captain Pasco.
Yeah.
Senning Show, you're live on the air.
Hey, guys. First and foremost, I appreciate where this is coming from, but most environmentalists, at least have your facts straight. They were not building that to 5 times the size of Atlanta Hartsfield. That wasn't the point of it at all. Secondly, on that, with the technology we have, this is completely self-contained. The pollution is not a factor here. Zero. And when he said, which totally nixed it for me, when he said they're putting in a blood clot in the Everglades, that blood clot was put in over 40, 50 years ago. We are doing right now what we have to do as society and citizens of Florida to protect ourselves. And if that's the way to do it, then that's the way to do it. There is no way Governor DeSantis would put something out there that would completely, immediately harm animals and he would get pulled back from the entire world, not just Floridians.
Well, you would think so, but I think there's, and I'm not, and here's the thing, you threw out some facts. I don't have a fact-checking thing. You said there's no pollution. I don't know if that's true. I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire on it, but I think the one thing that he said that rings true is when we're talking about the parks and things like that and building hotels and golf courses, everybody can just go, no, we want our parks. We want them to stay beautiful. But you put it under the umbrella of one of the most hot-button, divided issues in the country, and you're going to get people to sign off on things they would have never signed off on before in the name of, like you said, protecting the country, protecting the state, whatever you think might be actually happening.
Without it, and I agree with that. But when you go to the stands, the Mississippi tribe has huge say in this. They definitely got to sign up on this. And I'll tell you this right now, he's worried about light pollution, what have you. Mississippi Indians didn't think about light pollution. They're building gigantic casinos. So that's just it.
Well, I would say that's a location. Thank you for the call. I would say that's a location thing. I don't know of any casinos that have popped up in the middle of the Everglades in a preserve. So I would say for all of the things that you had issues with him, and I'm not here to simp for everything that he said, and said everything that he said is 100% on base, but I'm not going to do the same for you either, because I don't think that's factual that there have been casinos popped up in the middle of the Everglades or the Big Cypress. We need to give away or at least attempt to give another word.
Yes, sir.
Stand by. Were you about to say something?
No. I was going to remind you of the word.
Word.
But I do agree I don't think that anyone's going to walk this back. No one's going to go, well, this is affecting the Panthers, so we should probably stop because the wildlife out here, someone's going to be like, oh, boo-hoo, bring in the next bus.
Exactly. I mean, to me, it's so built, and I know that it's all kind of temporary, but I mean, the street signs have been put up, the framework of it is all there. From what I understand, there are already migrants there. Hang tight. I'm going to give you the word. It is WANT, W-A-N-T. You have 30 minutes past the top of the hour to get onto the 102.5 The Bone app and enter the word WANT. And you can win $1,000 of Mike Calta's summer vacay payday money. We'll take a couple more. Can't do this all day, but I know people are fired up, and I feel like if I'm going to let the captain share his thoughts, we should let everybody share their thoughts. Senning Show, you're live on the air.
Well, yeah. Well,
Oh, it's still Fritz. God damn it. Senning Show, you're live on the air. I have 8
Would that be me?
Yep. I have 8 full lines, and I picked up Fritz twice. Senning Show, who's
Okay.
this?
This is Lois.
Lois, what's up? What
I
are you
was
thinking?
I was listening to Captain Planet, and he has a lot of good points. However, I don't like the fact that he had to mention Republican like 4 times. It's both sides of the aisle. They've all had their hands in this. However, the fireflies I've noticed for the last 20-plus years diminishing here. Panthers, I go up to Levy County a lot. We're still seeing them, but locally they're being driven out. What's happening is, and people need to realize this, they don't get involved enough on a local level in their politics. The county commissioners are huge, Democrat, Republican, on deciding development. I moved to Pasco County 45-plus years ago. It has rapidly changed. They're concreting everything. They're mowing down trees, the deer, the panthers, all of that. So I agree with Captain Planet on that. But people need to get involved on a more local level. You want change? Why do you keep voting for these same commissioners over and over? Get some new blood in there.
Preach, Lois.
And,
preach. And I appreciate the call. I'm not trying to rush you, but I want to let a couple people get in. And I would say to Lois and anybody else, I mean, my spidey senses were going up as well when he was hitting the Republican thing. But I don't think that we can pretend that this initiative isn't being pushed by the right side of the aisle, like right or wrong, no matter what you think about it, whether you're for it or against it. I don't think that it would be a secret to say that it is, Joe Biden or Obama or whoever wasn't going to build a migrant detention center in the middle of the Everglades. So, maybe you don't like the fact that he said it repeatedly, but that happens to be the administration and who is ultimately making these decisions. And that's not political. That's just the fact. Senning Show, last call, and then we got to go to break. Who's this?
Hey, it's Frank.
Frank, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, I just wanted to call and say that where they built this temporary Alligator Alcatraz, there's a piece of concrete that's been sitting there for 40 years. So even if we ripped it all down, like that piece of concrete is just still going to be there, So it's not going to change anything whether we have temporary tents on a piece of concrete that's been there for 40 years. I don't understand why everyone's freaking out so much about it. It was much more disturbing when they were just letting in, 2 million people a year through the southern border of our United States. I don't understand the outrage. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, that would be, to me, the extreme version of it. I mean, maybe there's not enough damage being done. And to be honest with you, I wanted to know, not necessarily more specifics, but I thought there was maybe a bit of a smoking gun when it comes to what's happening in real time. Obviously, the light pollution, you're going to have a lot of stuff running out of, when it rains, running out of that facility into the surrounding area. I think to believe there will be no ramifications to the ecosystem into the Everglades would be taking it a little too far. But again, you brought it up. Which one do you want? Which one did you like more? The open border version or locking people in a big camp in the Everglades? You're not going to make everybody happy, but I appreciate Captain Planet hanging with us. He's a very, very unique dude who is passionate about what he's passionate about. And thank you to everybody who called as well. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, I'll give away some more tickets. I'm looking for Crazy X Tales. There is a woman who went a little too far when trying to keep tabs on her ex and his new wife. I'll give you that story, and we'll give away some prizes for yours. Coming up next with more Senning Show.
They all still wish you waiting when they slow rolling past. We could live a little higher on the hog, but I don't think that we'd be no better.
Are you frustrated with your current service provider? Well, switching to Hawkins Service Co. is simple and stress-free. With over 30 years of trusted service, Hawkins offers expert HVAC, plumbing, pool repair. One call really does handle it all. They've got 3,000 five-star reviews, and they offer tons of guarantees, like the comfort guarantee. If your system doesn't keep your home comfortably cool, Hawkins Comfort Guarantee means they'll replace it at no
cost. Hawkins also stands by the president's no-risk promise satisfaction guarantee, or they're going to refund your investment. They're always giving 10% off to first-time bone customers. Hit them up, 813-445-8209, and you can always book online at hawkinsserviceco.com. Hawkins, one call, handles it all.
Places at the end of the day, so I passed the plate and thanked the Lord he put me here.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. 102.5 The Bone and Neutral are sending you to see one of the biggest bands of this or any generation. Oasis. Live in California. Oasis. Head to theboneonline.com now for the locations of QR code posters near you. Scan the QR code on the poster and you can score a flyaway to see Cage the Elephant open for Oasis in California, including airfare and tickets. And that's not all. You also get a pair of front row tickets to see Cage the Elephant at the Baycare Sound Clearwater on September 17th. Don't wait. Visit theboneonline.com now to find the location nearest you to register. From 102.5 The Bone and Neutral, keep it tasty.
When it really matters, choose Farrah & Farrah. Here for you, here for good. Tampa.
A lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, this is my last hope. The next step is getting them in the right arch supports. Our goal is to have that long-term change for them, to see someone that is in pain. I change things for them. See how we can help you with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
Summer is upon us. That means trips to the beach and sometimes a dirty car. That's why you need to think about a trip to Bubble Down Car Wash, where you can get the unlimited plan, go through as many times as you need to keep your car clean this summer. You'll have the cleanest car in town every time you bubble down.
Do you know a teacher that desperately needs a vacation? Well, I'm here to help. I'm attorney Mo DeWitt, and I'm giving one lucky teacher a free cruise. All you have to do is nominate them at justcallmo.com/cruise. That's justcallmo.com/cruise.
It's officially time for Zero Res's annual summer sale. Take advantage and get 15% off all cleaning services. That's 15% off carpet, air ducts, area rugs, and more. Mention my name, Galvin, to secure this deal today or book online at ZeroResTampaBay.com.
When you hire Bernetti PA for your injury case, we make the process easy for you to monitor. We provide you our app so that you can monitor your case at any time. Call 1-800-BERNETTI. We're ready. Offices Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete.
Are you ready to go from looking for a job to landing a career? Hillsborough Community College has the tools to reach your goals. Our fast-track workforce training leads to exciting careers with competitive salaries. You'll find accessible, affordable programs with convenient schedules that fit your needs. Our dynamic learning environment features expert faculty and leadership opportunities. It's time to change your life. At HCC, we'll get you there. Register now at hccfl.edu.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
102.5 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. And 107.3 WXGL HD2 St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio. And now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Hey, what up,
Grab
girl?
my glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna hit this city.
Let's go.
Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Cause when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back.
Welcome back to Senning Show, 800-771-1025. I'm John Senning. He is Dizzy. You can watch The Bone. Did you know they've made it easier than ever? The Bone Facebook and The Bone YouTube. A lot of people getting in on the comments and the chat feature on YouTube. If you're looking to maybe meet some friends who like The Bone as well, it's a great place to do so. A lot of people riled up by Captain Planet. That's okay. We can disagree on things, believe it or not. And to be honest with you, I don't really want to be killing the environment in the state of Florida, but it's hard to figure out what's what. Wild Fork Foods. I've got family in town right now, and tonight it is all Wild Fork Foods being cooked up on the grill. A real special treat. I'm doing some sockeye salmon. I like to do that on the hot skillet on the grill. Just a couple minutes. And I'm also doing the bell pepper bacon crusted pork loin. I put that on the pellet smoker for a couple hours, get it to the right temp. It's going to be a nice family dinner. Even have a couple lobster tails as well. Wild Fork has whatever you're looking for and a bunch more. If you're sick and tired of the grocery stores, you feel like you've seen it all, cooked it all, check out Wild Fork. They've got locations in South Tampa, West Chase, and St. Pete, and always online. You can get it delivered. WildForkFoods.com. Friendly reminder, I will be a part of the Myco radio show this Saturday, emanating live from the brisket shop in Tampa. They've got a QR code at the brisket shop that's live right now already. You can go through and scan it and possibly win a room at the Beach Bash. The rooms are sold out, but we're giving one away courtesy of our friends at Wild Fork and the brisket shop. So get up there anytime. But if you want to see us, we'll be there Saturday, 12 to 2. Monica, I believe, hanging out as well. A star-studded edition of the Myco radio show from 12 to 2 at the brisket shop in Tampa. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
This is Robbie.
Pardon?
This is Robbie.
Hey, Robbie. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? So, what do you want, a crazy ex story? Because you know what I'm looking for?
I can barely hear you, dude. I appreciate the call, but it's not working. I would be remiss, that I have been remiss in not mentioning it already. Shout out to and happy birthday to the one and only Drew Garabo. He has obviously been a pivotal part in me getting this show and being where I am today. Oh, no way. So shout out to Drew. Happy birthday. And on a day where we celebrate him, it's a great opportunity for me to say thank you for everything he's done for me personally and professionally for the past 10 plus years. So happy birthday, Drew Garabo. Oh, look at that surprise. I brought up the fact, is this connected to the fact I mentioned it?
I was walking down the hallways. This guy's like, Dizzy, we got a food drop for snack wraps. I go, we were just talking about this.
I do think it was. I was going to feel really, I was going to really be feeling myself if it was just us mentioning it that made the snack wraps appear. But, dude, they smell delicious.
They do.
Did you already house one?
No. I was literally coming back and they stopped me. I was like, all right, yeah, we were just talking about this.
We were. Today's
John's
the day.
never had one.
Today is the day. So there's different flavors here. It looks like a spicy, looks like a ranch. Take a big old bite out of one real quick. I want to see your
if you had to choose one, which one would you rather?
I mean, I would go spicy, but that's just
man,
me.
Drew knows you. Happy birthday, Drew.
So I'm just curious. I'm really curious to know if it captures the energy of the former snack wrap, because everybody has been clamoring for this for what feels like over a decade. I'm just curious if it brings you back to those days where you used to eat snack wraps. He's chewing, he's savoring, he's suckling, he's salivating.
Pretty good.
Does it remind you of the old one? Because I imagine does it look like their new tenders are in there?
I think the chicken's a little different, and it's more like there's more room in it, if that makes sense. Like last time they were pressed hard.
Oh, okay.
Strong, like you wouldn't taste as much tortilla.
Okay, and it is a tortilla, correct?
That's just a tortilla.
Right?
Yeah, it looks like a tortilla. Yeah. Again, I am not versed in the way of snack wrap. So today's the day. People have been waiting legitimately forever for the snack wrap to return. So if you are one of those people, just know it's snack wrap day, and you can go get one from your local Mickey D's. An envious ex-wife allegedly spied on her former husband and his new family by tapping into their home security system, racking up over 700 hours of watched footage. I'm willing to part with some more tickets during this segment. If you have a wild stalker X story, Yancy Villafranche and his fiance Achia Young accused this man's ex-wife of spying on them through their Ring doorbell cameras as they set up because their children began sleepwalking. According to the court records, there's no way to describe how violated you feel, the man said. It feels like someone touched me. It feels like I found somebody in my house. You know this feeling, Diz. It's like the feeling when you went into your car yesterday and those Senning Show stickers were spread all over your seat.
Yep.
It's a lot like that. Physically in my house, like she had been in my house for months and we had no idea. The cameras were set up inside the family's home in a San Diego neighborhood, and Young became skeptical of the newly installed technology in May when this is the wife, the new wife, when she noticed the camera's blue light indicating recording and live view mode were on. She said, I just started to feel kind of crazy, like what's going on? She then claims it didn't take long for her suspicions to be confirmed. The family was sitting together in the living room when a female's voice came over one of the camera's speakers. It was his ex-wife's voice. It was her voice, she says, and I looked up and the blue light was on and the camera was rolling. She pulled the cameras down, and the couple soon discovered that his ex-wife had created an account right within their Ring system, and by the time they did all of their due diligence, they found out that this woman had watched 700 live hours of their life in their home. That is a level. I don't know if this lady was capable of hurting these people, her ex and his new family, but I would feel like if you've got it in you to sit around and watch 700 hours worth of your ex in his new home, that the end of that road eventually comes with you burning down their house or doing something really, really bad. Like, I think 700 hours, if you weren't insane when you started watching, you're probably insane by the time you've watched 700 hours. That's a lot of hours.
I just looked up, because, me and Drew are big Simpsons fans. It's been on forever. There's only 281.6 hours of The Simpsons.
No way. Dude, I love that you brought that up, because that puts it in crazy perspective. So if you watched every Simpsons episode ever,
768, 22 minutes each.
It would only be 281 hours.
Yeah.
So she essentially watched the entirety of The Simpsons 3 times over.
Yeah.
Dude, that is
insane.
That is pretty insane.
Lock her up.
They are locking her up. Let's see. What did they do? 2 restraining orders were filed against the ex-wife. San Diego police investigated the claims, transferring the case to the district attorney's office. Police recommend several charges that include eavesdropping, which I didn't know was an actual charge, wiretapping, and stalking. Criminal charges have not been filed as of last night. This woman has not been charged with anything.
What?
Well, you almost have to wonder.
Invasion of privacy and stuff, like, you have to be able.
Oh, here's where it is. Here's why. So it turns out she had access to the cameras at one point from when they were together. There was some form of the system that still had her as an account holder. So she technically probably didn't do anything illegal. She was getting into an account that she had access to. He had believed he had removed her from the devices during the divorce. Spoiler alert, he did not.
Yeah, that's kind of like, before, when I was with my ex, she went to the account, took out a bunch of money. Probably couldn't go after her because she had access. So I never did, right? I was just took my losses, chalked it up to the game. But me and Nicole have the security system cameras. So that's the same thing. We both have access to it. We're both on the account. If we separate and one of us starts watching,
you bring some new hoe up in there, and then she's just sitting at home watching all this footage of you doing God knows what in the house that used to be hers.
Yeah,
she's looking at the hooligans rob your car from across town. Damn. If you've got a crazy ex, I might be willing to part with some tickets. 800-771-1025. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
Hey, John, this is Wiz.
Wiz.
In Land O'Lakes.
Land O'Lake Wiz. What's going on today, buddy?
Had a pretty good run with a psycho, actually referred to her as psycho. And not to tell you too many stories, but the funniest one was one day I went to come home. She was parked at the end of my driveway and was blocking me. So I called my former Special Forces Ranger roommate.
Oh, no.
Told him the situation. And he went out there with a one of those like 2 million candle watt flashlights, the real bright ones.
Okay.
Jumped in front of her car, blinded her. I kind of scooted around her, got inside the house, barricaded myself in, thought I was safe. And that night when I went to open my window to put the little fan unit in there because it was a nice day, she popped her head in, dressed in completely black from head to toe. And thought I was going to get shot that moment.
What did she say? What was like the first words out of her mouth?
She just said, actually, funny enough, she said, you know how you said that I needed to get my head checked and something was wrong with me? You're right. And,
Dude,
I thought I was going to die.
That's a clean shoot. I hate to say it. I'm not saying you wanted to kill your ex, but I think with those comments and her inside your home, you probably had a clean shoot, brother.
Dude, my heart jumped out of my freaking heart. It was beating in my neck so hard. I thought I was going to die. Luckily, I did, and my roommate kind of heard us talking. He actually called the cops, and the cops caught her pretty much still standing at the window. And when they were like, oh, what are you doing here? And mind you, she's dressed in black head to toe. Her car was parked down the street by this point. And they're like, oh, he invited me over. And, she got arrested that night. Pretty fun moment.
Was that it? Was that the end of it? Did she go away after getting arrested?
No, dude. I could tell you about this all day. There was another time where I was parked, tried to drive away. She jumped on the hood of my car, and we drove down the Nebraska Avenue.
What kind of hog are you packing, dude? This woman is breaking through windows, hopping on the hoods of cars. You must be really putting it down.
I'm not saying I'm Diz or anything, but I think I'm doing okay.
You clearly
your stroke game is strong, dog.
Is she gone now? How about that?
I hope so.
Oh yeah.
But I would not doubt if another time she got into my house somehow by my roommate who was watching it while I was working, and I just came into my house and she was sitting on my bed sleeping.
What's the time frame here? From like when you broke up with her for like how long she's been doing this kind of stuff? Like, is this over the span of years or weeks or months?
Oh, no, dude, it lasted for years. It could be like 3 or 6 months. I don't hear anything. And then one time I had a friend just come to my house just kind of like just to say what's up. And we went for a walk around the neighborhood. And I see headlights in the distance. And I was like, oh, there's a car driving in the middle of the road. Next thing I know, the doors swing open and she just comes out and follows me all the way back to my house. And they just get into a crazy fight, scrap right there in the front yard.
Gee, dude,
it was insane.
You got something special there. Hang tight. I'll give you something. If you had to really think about it, because I think for some reason, and maybe it's just a double standard of sorts, when you think of a crazy ex, I think, and maybe it's because we're dudes, I think of a woman, and maybe that's wrong. But if you had to say, who is more often the crazy ex, a man or a woman? Because I think when a man loses it, it's in a different way.
Yeah,
it's in a scarier way. Kind of. Do you think that there are more male or female exes who just can't handle the fact that this person is moving on?
I think people who are stuck in that my ex, and they have to figure out a way to still be involved with them. It's kind of an emotional trait, and it does lend its hand more to women. I feel like you don't hear a lot of stories of women being like, my crazy ex is back, but it does happen.
It does.
I feel like they're more stalking types. Like they're more the type to like be in your bushes trying to see you through the window and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're not going and trying to jump on the hood of your car and stuff. Maybe they're trying to break in your place. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a different. It feels like the angry male ex just has a little bit different energy. They're definitely out there and they're stalking and they're scary. But Senning Show, you're live on the air. We're talking about this lady who watched her ex's home on the security camera for 700 hours. What were you gonna say, Diz?
I think the male side of it is the way they're still on their exes, they'll go on like social media or something, try to besmirch them and be like, she's a hoe,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. That's their way
Okay,
of...
vindictive.
Yeah,
and kind of try to get back rather than I need to be looking in your window in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
You may be onto something. Senning Show, who's this?
This is Rich.
Rich, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy, I had a crazy ex. I had a very crazy ex.
What'd she do to you?
Well,
you can't say that. Could've said
okay.
F you.
I had to let him go.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
weird.
if we...
It was your first day listening to radio?
I was gonna there is a very, you just got to have a little bit of knowledge of what we can and can't do, and if that is just the loud and proud words that come out of your mouth, I just think we're probably in for trouble.
I'm about to pull up and carve for your soap, dog.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, which is terrifying, and should be a scene from a scary movie, and maybe I should have given him a minute more, but he said he went into his shower and he grabbed his bar of soap, and carved into the bar of soap was F you, except he didn't say F you.
Yeah.
He shouted the F word.
Proudly.
Seemingly as loud and as proud as he could. This person has been holding
Did you have crazy exes ever?
I never did. I have a fairly vanilla, boring dating history. I dated the same girl all through high school until even when high school was almost over. And then it wasn't until when I got to Florida that I kind of played the field or whatever you would say. And there was never really, no. If anything, I was probably closer to the crazy ex than having one.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just like crazy. I just went through a period where I feel like I fell very easy. And then I was just heartbroken.
I had one that slashed my tires.
Oh, damn.
And the other one would not stop popping up in a sense. Like from Denver. I don't know if you heard the whole story of what happened with me and the Denver girl, but she pulled up to my house not too long after. And she was on that crazy stuff where she was like acting crazy, but like, look at us. This is so us.
No, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is inherently crazy. This is such a us move.
Yeah.
You call him. Well, I was going to say you call him the cops, but you wouldn't call the cops.
And I already moved on. I was talking to Nicole, and Nicole was like,
"Oh,
let me beat her up?"
I was going to say Nicole does not seem like one to be trifled with. Like,
no,
she will. Feels like she will choke a bitch.
Oh yeah, 100%. So don't show up to the beach bash thinking that you
can get up on the Diz man.
Yeah.
Senning Show, you're on the air. I believe you've been holding for a bit. Sorry about that. What's I feel like you might not want to talk about this. What's on your mind?
No. Yeah, it's Grizzly from earlier. I accidentally missed your thing.
I hung up on you, or I didn't get to you. So just hang tight. I got you, Grizz man. I got the Grizz man locked in. Senning Show, you're on the air.
Yo.
What up? Who's this?
Hey, that lady was probably missing that 6-inch bucket truck. You know what I'm talking about.
Thank you. That was perfect. That was exactly what we needed at this exact moment. I appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. When we come back.
Did you ever, just before you go, did you ever see the video of the guy who was with his new girl and they were at some restaurant and he came outside and he still has his plate of food and his ex and her friend are tagging up his car, scratching it and like going crazy on it.
Like he went into a place and like picked up food and when he came back out.
No, he was dining in and someone's messing up your car and he came up with his new girl and she's like, "Are you going to do anything?" He goes, "It's insured. It's all on camera. I don't have to worry about it." Then on Twitter the same day, they have the cops showing up and arresting this girl. And
rightfully so.
She tried to run and then they're like chasing her around the yard and tackling her. You never saw that?
No.
Oh my God, I got to send that to you.
The car seems like a go-to to vandalize when you're heartbroken.
Yeah, of course.
For many men, they love their vroom vroom and it is sacred. When we come back, it's kind of a two-parter. Diz sent me a story with a screenshot from the fact that they have put a trigger warning on what I would say is probably one of the better comedies of the late 90s, early 2000s. I would think it's fairly unoffensive. Maybe when you think about it a little bit more, it could be. They are now putting a trigger warning on it. So we're going to tell you what that is and also run through movies that could no way in hell be made today as we make way for John's Joints coming up at 3 o'clock with your next chance for a Mike Calta vacay payday. Don't go anywhere. More Senning Show on the way. Are you tired of that electric bill just going up and up and up? This year it's already gone up 20% and it will continue to go up for the beginning or to the end of time, I should say. When you're attached to the power company, it's like renting a home where it just goes up every month. Now is the time to go solar with Solar Bear. The average Solar Bear customer is saving $2,000 per year by switching to solar. storm season isn't just coming anymore. It is upon us. Make sure you're prepared. You can go with the backup power, so when the storm hits, you won't have to worry about a generator. And right now, when you sign up, you will get the first 12 months absolutely free. That is right. The power bill will go way down, depending on your situation, could be eliminated, and you have no payments on the panels for 12 months. You can do whatever you want with that money you're saving. Give them a call today for a free estimate or check them out online at solarbear.com.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Tell us what you think. Head to the 102.5 The Bone app now and leave us an open mic. The Open Mic on the free 102.5 The Bone app is sponsored by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
Hey, boss, it's me, your air conditioning unit. You know, the one who cools your house. Just wanted to remind you that summertime means I'll be working overtime. Because the hotter it is, the harder I work. And the more electricity I use to keep your home feeling like, well, you don't live in Florida. So don't be alarmed when your electric bill goes up. In fact, 50% of that bill can be from my cooling. Here's a tip for you, boss. Go to TampaElectric.com/summerbills for more information and ways you can save. You're welcome.
Raise a Big Daddy mug this summer at Hooters. Bud and Bud Light Big Daddies for just $6. Or Mick Ultra for $6.50. Big beers, better deals. Only at Hooters. 11 locations in Tampa Bay. Go to originalhooters.com for one near you.
Every Wednesday night is Bone Bowling Night at Pin Chasers for just $12.99 from 9 until close. You can bowl until your arm falls off. I'd recommend stopping before that happens, but you do you. Go to pinchasers.net to check out their nightly specials and to reserve a lane, and we will see you every Wednesday night starting at 9 o'clock at all 4 area Pin Chasers locations for Bone Bowling Night.
Bowling, food, and fun at Pin Chasers.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro.
Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call Trajan today at 813-550-1000. That's 813-550-1000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
John Senning here. Are you ready to win $15,000 in new impact windows from Reese Windows? Well, pick up your phone right now and text the word TRUST to 20129. That's TRUST to 20129.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America? Thousands of hard-to-find Rolex watches, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, all in perfect condition.
We scour the world to find only the most pristine, super clean watches. We only carry carry the creme de la creme.
And like everything else at IDC, these watches are at a price that's guaranteed to give you maximum value.
We price them to win the customer, not lose a customer.
International Diamond Center for pre-owned Rolexes, exquisite rare diamonds, premium designer jewelry, and exceptional white glove service.
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center, Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota, and online at shopidc.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Get to the Brisket Shop on Armenia in Tampa this Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. The Mike O Radio Show will broadcast live. Meet up with John Senning and Monica and enter to win a room to the sold-out Bone Summer Beach Bash at the Sky Beach Resort, where you can experience the Friday night pig roast with Wild Fork Foods and the Brisket Shop.
Involved in a car accident? We understand the pressure you're under. Call Farah and Farah.
Tampa.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
And now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
It's our boys, Matt and Zach. They're going to be jamming out Friday night at the Beach Bash. The rooms are sold out, but you can still come hang out with us. We are living in the good old days, if you didn't know.
Oh, 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 I stubbed my toe this morning. Oh, oh, oh.
I have to give a very, very special shout out to Elroy and Maxine, who are out there listening right now. They just had a fun day at Busch Gardens. Hello to Corey and my lovely wife as well. Uncle John in full effect. Hope you had the best day ever and that the ice cream was delicious. I'll see you in a little bit.
Son, are you living your destiny? Sometimes this shit gets the best of me, but I know.
Sing it if you know it.
We're living in that. We're living in that. Living in the good old days. We're living in that. We're living in that. Living in the good old days.
I think we're going to have the boys stop by for the broadcast earlier on in the day.
Yes.
Check in on them. Do a little pregame hype before they take the stage. It is official, by the way, as well. I know we're throwing a lot of Beach Bash information at you. It is official as well. The Vroom Vroom Senning Show pins will be available on Saturday at the Beach Bash. Our buddies over at the National Aviation Academy are going to be hanging out. I'll be at the tent from 11 to noon. First 300 people that roll through. Shout out to Moose and shout out to Dan Conley, who made it happen. A badass Senning Show Vroom Vroom logo on a little pin, and it could be yours. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm cooking something up else with Moose.
I have to say, every time people see the shirts that he made with the car and the logo, anytime it pops up on social media, people immediately, where can I get my hands on that? And hopefully, sooner than later, you will be able to get your hands on that in reality.
Yes. Jared, all the time, every time he sees me, he's like, seriously, though, where can I get the shirt?
Jared,
yeah,
Ride or Die?
Ride or Die. I'm like, bro, I didn't make them, or I would hook you up. He goes, I'd get like 4 or 5 of them. Let me know. I'm like,
I need to get one. I wish I could get one quick enough to turn it around. We're actually hanging out with Jared on Saturday night. We're going out to see Louis J. Gomez film his special at Side Splitters, which should be pretty badass, which I guess is being, I think I learned in the Mike Calta show, is being
directed and or produced by Robert Kelly at Side Splitter.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if we'll be gifted with any Robert Kelly, maybe a little mini set before or after. But Louis J. Gomez was on with Calta and everybody this morning, and he's really, really good. Have I asked you before? I have. If you watch Story Wars with him and Big J?
No.
It feels like something that you would like.
Yes.
They host it. There's 3 other comedians, and then they have stories that they read, and then everybody has to guess whose story it is. You get different points based on how many people guess you or don't guess you, and it's a fun time. It's become one of our favorite things to watch on YouTube. So looking forward to seeing Jared and Louis J. Gomez on Saturday night. Should be a good time. Diz sent me this. It's an article, but really it's a screenshot of a trigger warning for the movie Rush Hour. I mean, Rush Hour, I think on the surface, not an offensive movie per se. Does it say what network this was on where they felt the need to put the the trigger warning? I'm looking at it, but I don't know if it says what network. Oh, it's USA.
Okay.
It's USA Network. We all love our 90s buddy comedies, but this movie was created in a different time. FYI, certain depictions, language, and humor may seem outdated and at times offensive. And I would imagine, without remembering the whole, it does say that the movie is chock full of racist slurs. Maybe I don't remember all of that. The only thing I could think of was Chris Tucker doing an Asian accent repeatedly being the most problematic thing.
I mean, I'm sure there's little subtle things where Chris Tucker's probably like, man, all y'all look alike and stuff like that. But I think I know what the big one is.
Oh, what it do tell.
And I'm surprised you don't know off the top.
That's one of those movies that like lives in a time capsule. I probably watched them all when they came out first and haven't revisited them yet or since.
Rush Hour 1 and 2, probably my favorite buddy cop type films.
Bold statement.
The Rush Hour scene, I know that 100% that's what they put the warning on. It's when Chris Tucker goes in to talk to his cousin, who's like a nefarious drug dealing dude, and trying to get some information on the disappearing of the girl. He tells Jackie Chan's character, hey, hang out here, Lee, that's his name, and wait for me. Just hang with the people. He goes up to a bartender and mimics what Chris Tucker said, because he goes, when I go in there, do what I do. He daps up people. Jackie Chan tries to dap up people. Chris Tucker's character at one point goes, what's up, my N-word, to someone. And the guy's, oh, what's up? And they go around. So Jackie Chan goes to the bar and he says to the guy, what's up, man? Where the guy's like, what'd you say? And he thinks about it and he goes slower. He goes, what's up, my N-word? And he ends up beating everyone up in the bar who went to beat him up, which they probably should have for
Jackie
using a slur,
Chan. It's so crazy how time moved so fast.
Yeah.
Imagine asking Jackie Chan in the modern day to drop an N-bomb in a movie. Like Jackie Chan would be like, you trying to end my career? What the hell is wrong with you?
Exactly.
And I mean, it was a long time ago. We're probably talking over 20 plus years since they did that. But in the scope of life, it really is a fast time. Or, I'm not saying that we should be okay with it, but things came at you very quick. I have a list, though, of movies that they claim could not have been made in modern times. Some of them I kind of get, some of them I don't.
I don't get the Rush Hour one because it wasn't made to be offensive. It was made to be like, oh, he's so dumb he doesn't know what he's saying. You know what I mean?
It's number 3 on the list from BuzzFeed. This movie is a classic, but the slurs and jokes used in it are absolutely racist and bring to light a lot of stereotypes around the Asian and African American communities. I'm not sure how they managed to get Jackie Chan to say the N-word. I would definitely attribute that to the era that this film was made. Another one of my favorites, and when I saw it, it probably was absolutely the greatest movie I'd seen at that time. I think it was the first true rated R raunch that we got during that time period was the American Pie movies.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, they were super horny and sexual, but I don't know. I think that could probably be made today. It would be a straight to streaming movie, but they highlight the scene where Jason Biggs makes love to the pie.
I wouldn't even think that's the most offensive thing. I think it would be when you're recording a girl for the whole world to see without her knowledge.
That's
a dark moment. Yeah,
that is got major like revenge porn, bad vibes attached to it. Probably the most. Let me flip through this. I think this is true. Probably the most recent movie on this list, and if you want to weigh in, 800-771-1025 is Tropic Thunder, which has everything to do with the fact that Robert Downey Jr. went full blackface.
I think, see, here's the thing. I in no way found that offensive because the whole idea of that movie is this is a method actor who dives into any role. That's just who he becomes. So it's funny to see a method actor who wants this big role, knows it's made for a black man, so he goes, well, I got to be a black man now. But he doesn't understand what that is. So to him, it's the stupid stuff he grew up on, like, don't like this and no. You know what I mean?
And I don't even think, and I think that was the way it was received. And to this day, I think people still simp for that movie and say there's nothing offensive about it. And we're probably coming out of the woodwork a little bit when it comes to movie makers, specifically comedy filmmakers, being as scared as they once were. But I think just on paper, like somebody somewhere has got to read a script and it's, well, this guy, this white actor spends the whole movie in some version of blackface. I think there's probably still a lot of people that would go, even if it's done right, I don't think we're making that movie in 2025.
So I imagine on the flip side of that would be White Chicks is on
White Chicks is on is on the list as well, which I don't know that it always goes both ways. I mean, I don't know, again, not remembering every scene from White Chicks, I don't know that that would be as bad, at least on paper, as Tropic Thunder. It says, I love White Chicks. There's so much the movie is problematic, from the way Terry Crews' character hates other black people to the high-key sexism present in the way the twins are portrayed. It's funny, but awful. So that's a little more, you kind of got to search a little bit more to find the offense in there. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
Hey, my name's Joe.
Hey, Joe, what's up, buddy?
I didn't catch the whole thing. I just kind of jumped in my car now, but I'm sure Blazing Saddles is probably on the list.
Blazing Saddles
100%.
is very high on the list. I will say, I've heard about it my whole life. It feels like it's the one movie that everybody goes, you could never make that movie today. I've never seen it. And I don't know.
It's hilarious, but it's all satirical, so it's like, you know, they're kind of making fun of the racism and the stereotypes, but again, with that being said, they still do a lot of things that you couldn't do.
Yeah, that I think is the gold star movie that a lot of people think of. The James Bond movies are on here, and there's a very just mild reason why. Early James Bond specifically, the sheer volume of predatory sexual activities, which I also don't think I watched a lot of early James Bond. He always had a bevy of beauties around him, but I didn't know that he was preying upon them at any point.
Well, I guess they're saying that he's kind of like a womanizer in a sense that, like, whenever he goes on this mission,
he's saving the world.
He's always banging someone on the mission. But I don't think that's like, oh, you can't make this because that's kind of his character. His character is supposed to be like this spy who's so suave, he'll pull the girls he's investigating into the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's offensive. It's stupid, but
you
it's not offensive.
You would have to reach. I'm curious when this article from BuzzFeed was written. See if it was like a year ago. So I still feel like we're in that general time frame. This one to me is almost funny because I don't believe this. It's on the list at number 2. The Home Alone movies.
What?
Something about alluding to this would be taken as child neglect and endangerment, and that if you did it today, people would not think that it was funny if you left your kid at home. I will say.
Okay, then we
they
can't
left him
play
twice.
Finding Nemo because he was irresponsible and lost his son. Like, that's so dumb.
Is that what happened? Did Finding Nemo? They lose the
How many
they lose
movies
the
have
fish?
you not seen?
These are a lot of them, obviously. Finding Nemo, not seen it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. Is it worth the watch?
No.
Senning Show, you're on the air.
Hey, what about True Romance? Is that on the list there?
It is not on the list. I will. And now, is that because of the Jamaican white drug dealer?
I saw a scene where Dennis Hopper sits down in front of Christopher Walken and goes into the reason why he may be part black.
I do remember that. I saw that movie. I saw True Romance. Have you,
Nice.
Diz?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I guess that was it. I think that was Dr. O, by the way. Trying to sneak one in.
Shallow Hal.
Yes.
That will never get made.
That
it's basically fat shaming.
it's not basically.
Well, not even just fat shaming. It's just like ugly people aren't people. It's kind of what the thing is. And a big part of it is you're fat, you're ugly.
Dude,
Like, what?
the movie that gets brought up all the time that's on this list at number 16, that when we watched it didn't even resonate as hateful or transphobic or anything like that, is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the fact that the big reveal that the detective Lois Einhorn is actually the bad guy, Ray Finkel. The lady is actually a man who's got it tucked up between her legs, and then the whole scene when he realizes it, and when he initially realizes it and he starts burning all of his clothes, and he's in the fetal position in the shower and brushing his teeth and all of that. I can understand why that one probably wouldn't fly as much. But at the time, it was very, very funny. And if I watch it today, it's still very, very funny.
And when they caught her and he pantsed her and everyone just starts puking and stuff, right?
That's pretty.
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty crazy. Senning Show, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, guys, it's Jay.
Jay, what up?
I would have to say Porky's would not be able to be remade.
Very, very horny, and also the idea of men peering in on women, I think, kind of goes along the lines of the American Pie, where turns out that's not cool anymore.
No.
All righty.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Revenge of the Nerds. There's a whole kind of like basically a rape scene.
Yeah, it is. Things were in that realm. There was definitely much more. There was much more of it happening in those late 80s, early 90s movies that were just kind of looked at as comedy, where I think if you put it out there today, people would go, damn, that's aggressive.
What's that movie? I can't remember. I think it's Reese Witherspoon, where she goes to school and she's like an undercover journalist or something like that. And one of the main plot points is she
Legally Blonde?
No.
Miss Congeniality?
No. She basically hooks up with a student, and you got to be like, well, he's 17, and you're 30.
There's a new movie like that was actually very creepy as well. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, it's Drew Barrymore. Never Been Kissed.
Oh, yes, that was. She goes into the school and then starts hooking up with a high schooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that's out recently, though, is Jenna Ortega, and she's the student. And I believe it's like a high school class, and she ends up having a very erotic relationship with her teacher that, they still made modern day. So I think if you do it good, you can probably get away with more than people think.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Let's step aside for a moment. When we come back, how cool is that? So I'm on the Matt and Zach on Spotify, and Spotify has, they'll put like on tour. Guess where on Spotify Matt and Zach are on tour next?
Beach Bash, baby.
Beach Bash, baby. July 18th, St. Petersburg, Florida. Wow, that makes me feel big time. The Bone being represented on Spotify. We have your next chance to get a word and win $1,000 in just a couple minutes. It is time for John's Joints. And today we'll be joined by the birthday boy, Drew Garabo, celebrating a birthday. We've got tons to get to. Some stuff that I did not touch on yesterday, specifically the animal stories about the creature that had to be saved from the sea that I didn't know would ever even make it into the sea, as well as the AI helping people have babies, but maybe not in the exact way that you might think. Don't go anywhere. More Senning Show on the way.
Why am I so sick? Life is just a bitch.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Breaking summer news. All the rooms at the Sky Beach Resort for the Bone Summer Beach Bash are completely sold out. But good news, you can still come out and party for free. Neutral presents the Bone Summer Beach Bash. An entire weekend of awesome events and hanging out with all your favorite people from the Bone. Plus, it's absolutely free to get in. It's all happening July 18th through the 20th at the beautiful Sky Beach Resort in St. Pete, a bayfront oasis with a private beach at the southernmost tip of St. Petersburg in the Skyway District. No matter what you do, don't miss the Bone Summer Beach Bash, presented by Neutral and 102.5 The Bone. Special thanks to attorney Patrick Smith, The Brisket Shop, Wild Fork, and National Aviation Academy.
Hurt in a slip and fall? Take back control of your life. Call Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
Wait, you're leaving us? You're matching pajamas.
Matching silk pajamas, babe.
You discover Heineken and now you go out to watch live sports?
We were literally made to wrap you in luxury, to vibe, to recharge your soul.
And your weighted blanket is here.
It's like a blanket, but so weighted.
Don't listen to your PJs. Head to the game with some friends and grab some ice-cold Heinekens. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
At Bernetti PA, if you've been injured in an accident, we make it quick, easy, and convenient to hire us. You can rest assured that somebody is on your side. Call 1-800-BERNETTI. We're ready. Offices Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete.
Downtown St. Pete got a whole lot thirstier. It's the grand opening of Thirsty First at our new location on Central Avenue. Catch the UFC fights, groove to a DJ, or relax in the upstairs VIP lounge. There's something for everyone. Come check out our new vibe. You're gonna love it. Thirsty First.
Hot in your house? Superheat Air and Plumbing, powered by the experts at ABC, has your back. Get a $29 AC system check, working or not. If it needs a fix, that $29 rolls into the repair. Fast, pro service, same day. Go to superheatandair.com.
My name is Attorney Bill Sansoni. You might know me as Dead Air Sansoni from the Ask the Dom Show. I represent people accused in crimes in Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Manatee, Polk, and Sarasota counties. I also represent clients in federal court across the country. If you have been arrested or accused of a crime, call me, Bill Dead Air Sansoni, at 813-361-0874 or online at sansoni-law.com. Offices, Tampa.
If you're looking to buy a custom engagement ring, you know where to go. That is the Gold and Diamond Source. Family owned and trusted for over 40 years, just minutes from anywhere in Tampa Bay. You can stop by the Gold and Diamond Source on Olmerton Road and let them make a unique, beautiful ring for your future bride in anybody's price range. And you get to get it done without all that sales pressure. Because at the Gold and Diamond Source, they just want to make sure you leave happy and with a great investment in your marriage future. At the Gold and Diamond Source, they're not just there for engagement rings, they're a jewelry super center. From birthstones to tennis bracelets to diamond studs, whatever's on your wish list, the Gold and Diamond Source can make it happen. And did you know that right now gold is at an all-time high? If you bring in your old jewelry, Steve and Julie Weintraub will buy it and offer the highest trade-in values of the year. It's a perfect time to upgrade what you're not wearing and turn it into something that you'll never want to take off. It only happens at the Gold and Diamond Source with the largest selection of jewelry, including men's jewelry. Stop in there for all your jewelry needs and tell them you heard about it on the Mike Kelta Show.
This hour of Senning Show is brought to you by Hawkins Service Co. One call handles it all.
1025 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. And 1073 WXGL HD2 St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio. And now, back to Senning Show. It's time for John's Joint with your host, John Senning.
Welcome back to Senning Show. Time for John's Joints. We're burning down the news of the day. I'm John Senning. He's Dizzy. And you know, some days in this life are just a little more special than others. And when you get to celebrate the life of a man who looked death in the eyes and put his big juicy nuts right on its face, and is here to celebrate another trip around the sun. It's a damn fine day in my book. Happy birthday, Drew Garabo.
Thanks, man. I was looking at some old birthday pictures today, and the one from 3 years ago when I was between chemo rounds, when you came over with a cake from Alessi. Oh, my God, what a day.
Dude, that was, man, it is so... I've said this to you a million times, and I can't imagine how your brain processes it, but it feels like another life, like this alternate universe that happened because of how well you are today, to go back to those moments. And I remember that very vividly. We ate some cake, we spent some time watching the birds outside, and to think back on what was going on that day to where you are right now, it's gotta, I would imagine, carry a certain level of surrealness as well.
Extremely surreal. Like when you talk about an alternate universe, there's a part of me that almost feels like
I know what you're gonna say. And
like it almost feels like I died. You know what I mean? Like I was between high dose rounds of chemo and bone marrow transplants, and there's a part of me that really wonders, do I really feel this good? Am I really here right now? Are you really here? Did I really make it through all that? Or did I not make it and this is like a version of heaven on earth?
Or what if this is some sort of other alternate universe, and like the other universe is going on, but this is just the version of
me that lives in this
Right.
timeline with you.
Maybe I created that. Maybe I died during that second round of treatment, and this is the reality I created for myself, surrounded by awesome people like you guys and being able to live life. And if so, then don't wake me, please, because this is awesome.
Dude, one of my favorite things to do on your birthday is go to my Google Photos and just do a search on your face and go back and watch all of the different videos and pictures that are because there's so many things that I wanted to post today that just I didn't know if they would have been received right.
You killed it.
I have so many videos of you pranking people that called you, telemarketers. And there's this one, and the only reason I didn't post it because, dude, I think a bird just hit that window and fell.
Probably,
and died. Yeah,
bitch.
Yeah, sorry, I have zero attention span.
Call radio.
Yeah, but it's a video that I'm gonna tread lightly.
All right.
It's a video of a lady calling you, trying to sell you on a vacation weekend, and you tell her that you're scared to book vacations these days because of what happens to the sheets when you stay there. And it's so funny. And the lady goes on, and she's like, oh, no, there's no problem, sir, no problem. And you just keep going, and I just couldn't for the sake of post. I thought about putting it on my story and then blocking her from being able to see it, but that felt inherently wrong.
Yeah, I don't get so many of those scam calls anymore, but man, you and I, we've shared 7, 8, 9 on my birthdays together
there's
now.
There's been a bunch, and there's a couple that stick out. The one at the Wiki Wachi house where you had COVID and nobody knew it,
and cancer and nobody knew it.
Yeah, well, wow, you had the double dose, and dude, one of my favorites, and I think we've talked about it on the air now at this point. It was your 50th. We were chatting about it yesterday when all this different stuff that Seth and I were doing, and one of them was your family coming into the studio, unbeknownst to you.
Yeah.
But before that, we did a cake. Diz, if you haven't heard this, you're gonna love it.
This is so awesome,
dude.
This is right up your alley, Diz.
We had a cake, like a cake off, where I believe me, Seth, and Micah each presented Drew with a cake, and he had to kind of pick which one he liked the most.
Yep.
And my cake had the theme of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Okay.
So on the sex part of the cake, we had a condom, and on the drug part of the cake, it had like 150 milligram gummy right on the top of the cake.
A leaf-shaped one.
And then in the
I'll
rock
never
and
forget.
roll, there was like a Beastie Boys sticker or something. And I don't know if you were encouraged to do it or if I said you should do it, but for entertainment purposes only, Drew may or may not have in the moment ate that whole gummy with like an hour left in the show, maybe an hour and a half left in the show.
Yeah, and I had just found out that my family was coming in here for the very first time.
Yeah.
My mom, my dad,
I don't think
my
you knew
sis-
at that point. You ate the gummy and then you didn't know.
That's right. If I had known, I wouldn't have eaten that.
So he ate the gummy and then was probably kicking in the moment his entire family, mother, father, sister,
son,
nephews,
Dude, I was
brother-in-law.
losing my sherbet.
Yeah, I've been there, dog.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I'm asking John. He had to calm me down. I'm just like, dude, what am I gonna do? I can't handle this. I can't. He's like, you're gonna be fine. I'm like,
That was good times.
You know, the funniest part of that, I was gonna wait till my show to say it though. I was with a young lady at the time.
Then during this period of time?
Yeah, at my 50th.
Okay.
Who, if you'll remember, was famously an internet fetish adult.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites.
Star. She claimed that she was visiting her grandfather during my 50th birthday, but another friend of mine who was in her industry divulged to me that she was not visiting her grandmother and that she was seeing clients.
Oh. Are you sure she wasn't just doing like granddaughter porno shoots?
She may have killed two birds with one stone.
I will say there were a lot of things that I looked at in my pictures today that I chose not to post.
Yeah.
One of them was a picture of you and Delilah where I was going to make a do nothing chump reference, but I figured not on your day.
Thank you.
And the other one was a picture of me, you, Danielle, and
that girl
and the lady. And I didn't even know what would have been funny to caption it with, and it would have really been only for our enjoyment.
Right.
But I went with my better judgment and did not because the other underlying storyline there was how that night, because remember that was the night we went to Kahuna's. That was the night we went to Ian Beckel's boat party.
Oh, yeah.
Really probably changed the trajectory of certain things at this radio station for a long time. I don't know if we really want to get into it.
Yeah, I don't know if we do either, but yes, that was where I mean that's where the irreparable damage occurred, and things just have never been the same. And it's cool. He's doing great, and we're doing great.
I think things are pretty damn.
But yeah, we just we were loyal to a little bit boy Seth.
To the Cushman at the time. John's Joints brought to you by marijuanadoctor.com. They've got 40 locations throughout the state of Florida, and they are kicking in the greatest savings to be offered yet. $30 off your initial certification. I am very, very excited. Sometime in the next 24 hours, they just put a brand new Jungle Boys dispensary on 4th Street in St. Pete. There are tons of dispensaries near you, wherever you live, whether you go with a good old Walmart of True Leave, places we love like Sunburn, Air, Cure Leaf. So many options when it comes to products, whether you want to go pre-rolls, flour, tinctures, edibles, ointments, whatever you can think of, they've got it out there. But all you got to do is get legit and go with marijuanadoctor.com. Book the appointment today. Certification comes same day. Use that code BONE30 for $30 off that initial certification.
Did you go to Jungle Boys on there? You didn't?
I wasn't sure if you saw it. They did I want to say it was like the first 50 people or something got a free eighth. A free eighth
nice.
And a free Jungle Boys mug. I have to say, from a cool-looking, artistic, aesthetic perspective, I looked on their website last night. Everything they have is presented in such a cool way. Like every strain of weed has its own awesome graphic and name. I mean, the products from the extracts to the. Do you ever do their? Have you ever done their disposable pens?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they look really, really good.
Like the black ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is now from my home the closest dispensary. So I will. I don't know whether to expect that it's going to be slammed over the next couple days, or if maybe word hasn't gotten out yet. But I will definitely be checking it out right up the street.
Breaking news.
Go on.
If you go now to @DizzyFromAir, the order link's there.
Oh,
to order your own Senning Show.
Oh, damn.
Vroom t-shirt.
Dude,
wow.
That happened. That happened quick. That's very impressive.
Man.
Is that courtesy of our buddy Moose?
Moose has got it all hooked up. So if you go follow
that.
the link, and they're reasonably priced, $25.
That's not bad. And if you order now, you could probably be sporting it by the beach bash.
Yes, supplies are limited too, so make sure you get in there quick.
I knew you were cooking something over there. Thank you. Good,
I tagged you in it. You can share it whenever you're done.
Good on you.
But go look it up, man. @DizzyFromAir. Go order the shirt.
Does he get any of the money?
Who?
Moose.
Does he get any?
Yeah, did Moose?
I would hope so,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay. I'm not buying one.
Yeah. Oh, you got beef with Moose?
Yeah, I don't even care for that guy.
What?
Why?
Yeah, we got into it on social media about something.
I remember talking. I remember talking about this because I brought up the fact the last time I had seen him up until recently was when he brought us the mugs for Drew Saves Christmas. That was, I think, the last time I saw him face to face. So I was not aware of a looming beef.
And you know what? If you can't remember what the beef is about, is it really worth holding on to? Screw it. I'm buying a shirt. I don't remember what it's about. But
there you go, man.
I like it. See, we're mending bridges. We're
you guys.
We're changing lives. We're kumbaya for life. Dude, did you by any chance here? I didn't even mention to you that I was trying to have him on. It came together last minute. Did you? I had Captain Planet on. You remember?
Oh, yeah,
Captain
Garrett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had him on today to talk about Alligator Alcatraz.
How'd it go?
Because he's really pushing, It was okay. I mean, if I was giving you my honest feedback, I was looking for a little bit more of a back and forth. It was hard for me to ask questions and try to get out of him what I was looking for. Tons of great points, and he's very, very passionate. It was just he had a thing. He had a thing, and he was on it, and I couldn't really get into to pull out of him what I wanted, because I am legitimately curious from an environmental perspective, and his whole take was, and it's a great point. When they came into Florida and wanted to build these hotels and golf courses and all these other pickleball courts on our state parks and all that, everybody lost their mind. Republican, Democrat, anywhere in between said, there is no way in hell that we're letting you come in here and build on this. And it got done. They reversed it because people were pissed off enough about it. And his point was just, why isn't it this way with this? And the answer ultimately is they took an issue that undeniably people care about. It has made people blind to any environmental impacts that may or may not come from this Alligator Alcatraz situation.
Apologies if you covered this with them, but the most intriguing element to me is the light pollution part.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm not saying it's the only thing he said, but I was thinking that there would be a laundry list. Let me tell you specifically, this is happening to the water. This is happening there. And the real thing that he spoke on about the most was the light pollution, because that's
oh man, I don't know. It's certified dark
it's
or
like
something.
a certified dark park or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
and it
kind of like Curtis Hickson.
Yeah, it's where you can go. There's only a couple places in the country that have the ranking that this area has to be able to go and stargaze. And I think in his notes, he put the closest one with this classification is in Colorado to Florida. And obviously, like he said, it looks like Yankee Stadium lighting up the night now in the Everglades, in the Big Cypress area. And he was talking about the lightning bugs. It will kill off the lightning bugs and things like that. So it was interesting. And I bring that up because one of the other things that he touched on was we should be doing whatever we can to ensure the safety of the Florida Panther. And sadly, another story, another day, a Florida panther found dead along a highway last week in Tampa Bay, far outside of its usual habitat. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission records said that a male panther estimated to be 2 to 3 years old was killed by a vehicle on I-75 in Pasco County. The big cat was discovered on July 1st and was located 0.6 miles south of SR 56 near Wesley Chapel. Young male panthers are occasionally spotted outside of their usual territory, but the most of the breeding population resides in South Florida, below the Caloosahatchee River. There you go. According to the FWC,
He glitched.
In 2008, a male panther made its way into western Georgia, where it was shot and killed. The panther found in Pasco was the species' 9th recorded vehicle death this year alone. FWC attributed a 10th panther's death to intraspecific aggression, meaning it was killed by another panther.
Oh, that's even
Panther
worse.
on panther violence. I don't know why we got on the conversation. Oh, I know what it was, because we were up near the Brooksville area, and I was wondering if they ever roam there. Not really, not too much, but it was very interesting to look at the dots on the map. These are FWC verified panther sightings. And it was interesting to see there have been a handful of them out in kind of the Lithia, other side of Riverview type area, like 3 or 4 over the past 10 years. And then remember, there was 1 or 2 out in the Lakeland area a couple years ago. They saw it running through someone's backyard. And man, it's just crazy to think that they're even out there. But it's also just a major bummer that all of these efforts go into trying to keep them alive and keep the species thriving, and they're just getting hit by cars. And that's the main thing that kills them every single year.
And I don't expect it to make the news when someone sees a panther alive, but we really never do hear stories of like, hey, I saw a panther alive. You only find out about them when they die.
Yeah, they do. And I don't know if that's a lack of sharing. Like, I don't know if the people that are out there seeing them are just not always the type to immediately go and report it or post pictures of it. I wish I knew where it was taken, but I saw a video over the weekend of a guy that was hunting down in the Everglades, and in the comments, people were saying it was the greatest, most up-close panther sighting of all time, where he pretty much walked upon it. Like, he's as far away from me to you in the middle of the night, and it's just looking at him, and they're just face to face. I'll try and find it after the show and send it to you. Dude, I was worried about this. I just opened up my phone to see what it's not going to be as dramatic as you think. To see if I could find about the panther. Dude, Miss Peaches had to go under surgery.
Oh no, Portnoy's dog?
Yeah.
Oh,
they had to remove her nipples.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was because she ate all of his clothes, but I guess they had to have her nipples removed.
Oh, okay. What? Why would they do a nippleectomy on a dog?
I had to have surgery today. This is Miss Peaches speaking.
Oh, okay.
It's the second time one of my nipples needed to be removed just to be safe. My papa said I have a ton of them anyway, and he wants me to live till 30. They also removed my front teeth. I'm hoping it doesn't make me ugly. Okay. Because, his dogs had, like, eaten all of his clothes. They ate a hat, and he kept saying, like, you're going to be sick, you're going to be sick. And then they hadn't posted since. So when I saw the picture, I thought that's what it was from. So sorry, just a little Miss Peaches content for you.
Thoughts and prayers.
If we were to do a little check-in on the youth of America, at least maybe in the state of Florida, a pair of teenagers from outside of Florida have been arrested for allegedly swatting a victim in Polk County, according to the sheriff's office. The suspects were said to be a 15-year-old from Connecticut and a 14-year-old from New York. Deputies said the teenagers victimized a resident on June 4th and June 5th.
If you're not clued in, swatting is defined as a false 911 report of a violent incident intended to elicit an emergency response by a law enforcement agency. In May, Governor Ronnie D. signed a House bill that strengthened the criminal penalties for swatting. Now, false calls to 911 can lead to a second-degree felony if they end in death, or a third-degree felony if they end in serious injury. This feels like you would have a grasp on how bad it could go. Like, you're really just... You SWAT somebody, they make one wrong move, and then they're just lit up by the SWAT team. You've essentially murdered somebody.
Right.
Like, you are playing a game of Russian roulette by creating a false, dangerous story and sending the SWAT team to people's houses, but it still happens at an alarming rate, and it's just the evolution of, I guess, what it takes to entertain a teenager these days.
When these Polk County stories happen, you know I like to lapse into Grady mode. May I?
Yeah, give me a little something.
These two children from the northeastern United States of America are accused of swatting right here in Polk County. Did you hear what I said, John? Swatting? You know, in my day, we made sure kids didn't do anything like this by swatting their little fannies.
That's good. Dude, that's right from the book of
right?
Grady.
Like, that's a Gradyism.
He doesn't need it, but if he ever, like, starts losing his faculties, I think you're equipped to be a ghostwriter for...
Who says I'm already not? Grady by proxy.
You absolutely could. Sticking with the same theme, and it's just the things, and I'm sure people are still doing the innocent things that a lot of us did when we were kids, but it's just like everything. Okay, so to compare it to the last one, we used to make prank phone calls. That was funny.
Sure. Yeah,
now it's like a prank phone call isn't funny enough. It's let's see if we can possibly get somebody shot and killed by the SWAT team by making a call. We used to do ding dong ditch. You would do it. I still think that it's probably dangerous living in the modern day in the state of Florida if you don't want to get shot. But the TikTok trend of the door kicking challenge. 2 Volusia County teens landed themselves with felony charges. Videos posted to social media by the Volusia County Sheriff's Office showed a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old girl, a 15-year-old boy, 13-year-old girl, kicking in a neighbor's front door. The door busted in. Deputies tracked down the 15-year-old who told them they were just being stupid. They then went to the home of the 13-year-old where the girl's mother permitted them to search inside, and they found the kids hiding in the attic. The Volusia County's office wants to remind the public that the challenge is a surefire way to end up with a felony charge, or probably the most likely to be shot and killed by a homeowner.
What was the dumbest? And I think the three of us probably did some really dumb crap as teenagers. What you remember the dumbest, most potentially dangerous thing you guys did? I know mine easily.
What's yours?
Dude, we had orange groves right outside our neighborhood.
Oh, dude.
And when we got done bored with orange wars between us, we would take oranges and we'd throw them at cars. Like when,
dude, when
cars would go by, we'd try to hit cars.
We've talked about this before because every time you tell me that, I bring up the fact that that's one step away from The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, they take a dummy that looks like a human and drop him from the overpass and cause a terrible 30-car pileup. And it's like, do you think, wink twice if you think you killed somebody?
No, never killed anybody. But I mean, we did hear a couple of squealing of brakes, and sometimes people would pull over and try to chase us through the orange groves, which was great because we knew those groves.
I mean, we were pretty simple. We did a lot of ding dong ditch. We did a lot of egging houses. We would knock on people's doors and then hide in the bushes. And when they came outside looking for us, we would throw eggs at them and then run off. So we would combine the egging with the ding dong ditching.
That's great.
But I think that's about as bad as it got from a legal perspective.
Fireworks in mailboxes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that was
federal crime.
That is.
Well, it's in Canada. Is it the same there?
Oh no, everything's legal there.
Yeah, they're like, just say sorry, eh?
Dude, what's this all about? Go take some fresh poutine to this lady and make it all right.
Why did you get Jamaican at the end?
I don't know. My
poutine jerky man.
I put a little Trini.
I will salute Montreal.
That's my Trinadian. That's my Trinadian accent a little bit. I was telling Diz yesterday, and I prefaced it by saying there are a few things that I haven't shared on the air before, and I didn't know if I'd ever shared this. It's not causing harm to others, but we used to go into the cow fields and have cow patty fights.
Oh, yeah.
Where we would throw cow poop at each other.
Yeah, same.
You did that too?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, you just pick up a giant, because the cows, those cow patties are gigantic.
Dude, very big.
And it wasn't even, I don't know how we justified touching poo.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
Diz made me feel like a disgusting scumbag for picking up and throwing poop on each other.
Well, you guys both are disgusting.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And I mean, you're not.
You can relate in that way.
Especially being a fecal phobe. I also have
That's
much
odd that you would do that.
But it's really, I got to be honest, it's humans. It's humans that I have a problem with the fecal stuff.
Because those psychedelic mushrooms that we all love, before they grew indoors with hydroponics and whatnot, they grew right out of cow patties organically.
I did not think about that at all during our stay in the cow pasture. We were getting ready to leave, and we did one last little stroll through the pasture, and Danielle jokingly just said, "Oh, can we get the mushrooms out of here?" And you gotta go like at a certain time, like in the morning, right?
They tend to sprout in the morning, and you got to find the ones with the purple ring around the stem and a beige cap. But a lot of farmers, they can put an additive in cows' food that will make one of their 7 stomachs not poop mushrooms.
I bet you that they're not doing that at this farm. I
You're
bet you these farms are priming for that. Would be. I'm not saying that I would do it, but that would almost be a Airbnb sells experiences now and things like that. Like you're surrounded by a cow pasture, and it's like
we not.
No.
You got 5 minutes.
6 minutes.
The 3 o'clock word is drink. DRINK. Go to the 102.5 The Bone app. You have roughly 6 minutes. The word is drink. Go now. Go now. The word is drink.
3 o'clock is always the worst because we talk about it.
Dude,
we talked about it right before we went
back from break.
Yeah. And that's why someone in this said, it's like, still no word. I go, we gave it already. And they're like,
you
no,
entitled pricks.
I'm like, okay.
How dare you want the money that we're giving away?
I mean, the bottom line is it's Drew's birthday. And it was important to highlight Drew's birthday at 3 o'clock.
Thank you, John.
And, if you're that stressed out about it, go have a drink.
Yeah.
Because the word is drink. Go to the 102.5 The Bone app. You have 30 minutes. No, you don't. No, wait. You don't have 30 minutes. You have
5 minutes.
Yeah. You have till 30 minutes past the top of the hour to get to the Bone app. Son of a bitch.
Hey, look, better to remember at 3:24 than 3:34.
I like a positive.
Plus, here's what I found: when I've forgotten and we do it later, it increases the chance of winning because all that initial crush comes in. Yours is going to stand out if you enter a drink right now.
And Drew, I didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to highlight that. But the bottom line is we have the statistics, and we know the later you put it in, the more likely you are to be picked. So when we give it later, we actually have information you don't that means you're more likely to win now. So, yes, you may have less time to make it to the 102.5 The Bone app and put in the word drink. But if you do, you got a good chance of winning.
Let me make a very sensual analogy. When you're with your lady friend, do you just, jam it in right away? No. Little foreplay, 24 minutes of getting you ready for it.
Yep.
Boom.
It is.
Stick that drink in.
We're kissing around the edges a little bit before we give you the full drink. And the thing that's crazy,
it could be worse. We could be JP show. They don't give the word.
There's three.
You are JP.
There's
show.
3 of us.
Yeah.
There was 3 of them.
Well, that's why one remembered. One of the Gatlin boys over there.
We went full Gatlin boys on the word of the day today.
Good job, Diz. I saw Diz holding up fingers and like he's a catcher over there in baseball, and I'm like, what's he? Is he calling for the curveball? Drink.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm not going to lose sleep.
AI is involved in almost every element of our life now, but how about Pro Semen Finder? After trying to conceive for 18 years, one couple is now pregnant with their first child thanks to the power of AI. The couple had undergone several rounds of in vitro fertilization, or IVF as it's called, visiting fertility centers around the world in hopes of having a baby. The IVF process involves removing a woman's eggs, combining it with the sperm in a laboratory to create an embryo, which is then implanted in the womb. But for this couple, the IVF attempts were unsuccessful due to, this is a weird word, azoospermia. It is a rare condition in which there is no measurable sperm present in the male partner's sample, if you will, which leads many men to think I'm not fertile. A typical sample contains hundreds of millions of little swimmers, but men with the azoospermia have such low counts that no cells can be found. So the couple who are remaining anonymous went to Columbia University Fertility Center to try a novel approach. It is a brand new technology called the STAR method, and it uses AI to help identify and recover hidden sperm that no doctor or any technological advancement up to this point would be able to find. All the husband had to do was leave a sample with the medical team. They put it into a system where AI then starts poking around. They found 3 hidden little swimmers in this guy's sample, recovered and used them to fertilize his wife's eggs via IVF, and she became the first successful pregnancy enabled by the STAR method.
May I give you a television news tease for this story?
Oh, yeah. Give me.
I'll be my anchor right here. Coming up after the break, from Chat GPT to Chat JIZ. How a local couple found their way to pregnancy thanks to artificial intelligence. Come after the break.
I like that.
Thank
That's
you.
really good. It really, like, I don't even think that your brain, like our brains compute all of the ways that AI, the medicine is a big one, is wild. And I think it was within the first couple days of Trump's presidency. Remember, he signed that whatever they were doing and giving all that money to the AI companies to dabble in certain research where these AI systems essentially are trying to find cures for cancer. And it's freaky and it feels like we're giving it too much power. But if AI cures cancer, does that wash away all of the other weird, bizarre, bad things that it does?
Absolutely, until Skynet's activated.
Well, that's just one. Dude, between Skynet and the Neuralink, which Elon's got the chips in people's brains that can take people that can't speak and have debilitating conditions and make them whole again, I guess you could say. That is, what happens when you've got, let's say in 30 years, there's 12,000, 30,000 people that have that. And then Elon can just like he did with Grok when he turned it into a Nazi, he can just put in a couple of little, you can just put in a little prompt, and then all of the people who have the Neuralink, like start
rebelling,
just taking orders from whoever's programming them. Yeah. It feels a little scary, but it's probably closer than we think. Let's step aside for a moment. When we come back, plenty more joints to get into. I've got Airbnbs. We love them. When you find a good one, it's a treat. But when you find a creepy one, it could probably ruin your life and give you some PTSD. I've got an Airbnb host that was doing naughty things, and a wild story about how yesterday was the shortest day in recorded history. We could be talking about something called a leap minute or a leap second. When we think time is moving differently than it ever was before, might actually be right. And I'll tell you why and how. Coming up next, more John's Joints. But first, we love telling you about Win Derby right here in beautiful St. Petersburg. If you haven't been in there, what the hell are you waiting for? It is the poker room and card game mecca of Pinellas County. It's like you're living in the good old days. You get to sit down, have free cocktails while you play. Some of the tables, $5 minimums. You can look at the big murals on the wall to learn the finer points of Ultimate Texas Hold'em. Whether it's a night out with the boys, the girls, or a family event, you got to check out Win Derby.
Scratch that competitive itch. Sit down with your friends, family, strangers, and they're open 24 hours starting tonight. Saddle up next to somebody and ask them a couple of questions. Don't look at their hand, though, and win lots of money, including possibly a progressive jackpot for a royal flush at the legendary Win Derby.
You think about hosting an event for the office, for the crew, whatever you can conjure up in your mind, you can host it at Win Derby. So many possibilities, whether it's inside, have a nice buffet of food while you play some card games, or get a little crazy and use that big green area out back to host a big old festival if you wanted to. For all the information you need, check them out online at win-derby.com. You got the key to my heart, my heart.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone.
This is where you earn your money.
The Mike Calta Summer Vacay Payday. Congratulations, winner. You'd won $1,000.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. This is Irene from Valrico, and I just won $1,000.
The Mike Calta Summer Vacay Payday. Keep listening to The Bone for your chance to win cold, hard cash. 102.5 The Bone. Now, a Bone traffic update from the Farah and Farah Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center.
275 north, a serious multi-vehicle crash approaching Ashley Drive as traffic down to one left lane. Stop and go presently to West Shore Boulevard. Could get worse north of a 25-minute delay. Earlier crash southbound 275 as well. Back of traffic up both between Ashley Drive and Dr. King. Westbound I-4 traffic back to the Selman Connector. Both in the 10 to 15-minute range there. Dr. King westbound congested at 40th Street or 41. Also have an accident southbound Dale Mabry at Pinecrest Manor Boulevard, back a bit to Hamilton Avenue. This is Eric at the Farrah Traffic Center.
After you've been injured at no fault of your own, you shouldn't be stuck footing the medical bills or dealing with lost wages. Farrah and Farrah's accident attorneys are here to make it easy. Contact Farrah and Farrah, 1-800-500-5555, farrahandfarrah.com. Make it a Farrah fight, Tampa.
At Advent Health, we know your heart. Find nationally recognized heart care specialists at FloridaHeartExperts.com. That's FloridaHeartExperts.com.
Strybog Day is Saturday, July 12th at Shark Coast Tactical. The crew from Strybog Firearms will be at the shop with reps on hand to walk you through the best the industry has to offer. Strybog gets rated consistently as one of the best values and incredibly reliable firearms on the market time and time again. And while you're there, you can check out all the Grand Power Strybog lines at the shop. Mark your calendar and get the Shark Coast Tactical this Saturday, July 12th. There'll be tons of prizes, killer giveaways, and special offers with Strybog reps on site. Shark Coast Tactical is often imitated, never duplicated. Shark Coast is on Bee Ridge Road in Sarasota. Look for them on social media and tell Mike Cal to say it.
Shop Jerry on Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for some all-American savings with deals on over 1,000 vehicles during our American-made sales event. You pay what we pay with employee pricing for all. Get 0 down, 0% APR, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, scan the QR code to enter for your chance to win a new Ram 1500. All during our American-made sales event and the Make This the Summer sales event. At the #1 Ram dealer in the U.S., Jerry Ohm. Tampa is own country. Online at jerryohm.com. Call 1-800-840-0798 for complete details.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Brandon Honda is having its biggest used car event of the entire year. Hi, I'm Sam Robbie. Right now at Brandon Honda, get certified pre-owned vehicles from $6,900, backed up with a real nationwide lifetime warranty. Get CRVs from $15,000, HRVs $14,000, Accords $12,000, and get certified Civics from an incredible $9,000. We're approving all credit applications, plus make no payments for 90 days. Get all the facts at BrandonHonda.com.
Call 813-527-9308 for more information.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
John Senning here. Are you ready to win $15,000 in new impact windows from Reese Windows? Well, pick up your phone right now and text the word TRUST to 20129. That's TRUST to 20129.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Get to the Brisket Shop on Armenia in Tampa this Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. The Mike O Radio Show will broadcast live. Meet up with John Senning and Monica and enter to win a room to the sold-out Bone Summer Beach Bash at the Sky Beach Resorts, where you can experience the Friday night pig roast with Wild Fork Foods and the Brisket Shop.
When it really matters, choose Farrah & Farrah. Here for you, here for good. Tampa.
Climate Design Home Services. They really know their stuff. Climate Design has installed Trane heating and cooling systems for over 50 years. So put their experience to work for you. Visit climatedesign.com.
Now, a weather update from the Sun Toyota Weather Center.
Toyota.com. I'm Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Paul Delgado. Any slow-moving storms ending tonight. Really steamy tonight. Lows near 80. On Friday, mixed sun clouds and a few random showers and thunder showers developing, highs low 90s. Better chance of rain over the weekend.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
We were about to have a catastrophe. Danielle is stealing my Spotify and playing it in the house right now. So if this cuts off, or they're having a pool party, and I'm here trying to do a radio show, for God's sakes. Let me have my music. Welcome back. Oh, are you kidding me?
I'm going to listen to Gwen Stefani.
Come on, Danielle.
What the hell? I'm just going to keep stealing it back.
See how long we can do this.
Have a little respect the art form. Dude, shout out to Sharon at Joelle's. What a moment.
She's the best, isn't she?
Dude, they're the best. She's the best. The food's the best. What a birthday gift.
Back on my bush. Back to back
Again,
on my bush.
welcome back to Senning Show. We're in the midst of John's Joints.
I'm going back to back.
Your next chance at $1,000 with a word is at 4 o'clock.
Allegedly.
Believe it or not.
With the repeat. Do it 2 times, they gon' still doubt. Hey, now I got a 3-peat. Gotta flood the streets till they knee deep. Gotta stay woke, can't be sleep. All this flash, don't be cheap. All these bad that we keep now. Pockets gotta be deep now. Never lose again, living me deep down.
This is Big
gotta
Sean?
keep winning.
No,
it's a
this
clean
is
sweep now.
Fabulous.
Tell her back it up, you hit 3 beeps now. Big truckload.
Okay.
Call me Greek freak, big bucks load.
There are all these weird little things happening. Have you seen this? And I couldn't find a story about it this morning, but have you seen the reports that they're finding that ocean currents have changed directions?
No, what?
Let me see if anything is legit about it yet. Ocean current reversal. Let me see here. Newsweek. This will be good. Did an ocean current reverse?
Did it?
Let's see if I'm putting out. Fake news. The claim. The facts. The NOAA describes this as a component of ocean circulation which constantly moves water, heat, salt. It sounds like no. The answer is no.
Okay. Back to business. We're back to business.
The good news is it didn't happen. The bad news is if it did happen, it says there would be cause for concern.
Okay, but it hasn't.
It hasn't. And I brought that up only because of this weird little thing that happened or may have happened.
Yesterday?
Where does the time go? For once, we know for sure, maybe sort of kinda. July 9th, if it felt shorter than your average day, filled with too much to do, there's a scientific phenomenon to blame. This summer, Earth is suddenly spinning faster as a result of the moon's position, according to experts. The celestial speed up will knock anywhere from 1.3 to 1.6 milliseconds off of the typical 24 hours on Wednesday. So if yesterday felt weird to you, it was shorter by 1.6 milliseconds. Our big blue ball's rotation process is very, very sensitive. The phenomenon ranging from seasonal changes to natural disasters can have a surprising impact on the speed in which we're moving. The latest disturbance in the force will be the 6th of its kind since 2020, and they're saying there's many more to come, and it might be a lot more than that. And they're calling it a leap second. And the idea of a leap year, it's like a second that doesn't, or half a second that doesn't, or sometimes does exist.
Ugh.
It's not a huge change in the Earth's rotation that's going to lead to some catastrophe or anything, but it is notable.
Time is an illusion. Can you imagine what it was like in the dawn of civilization when they finally realized, hey, we all got to get on the same page when it comes to seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, calendars, etc.
It is weird. Like
what they do before
they
that.
say that it's a, like you said, just a social construct. But it's like, what if you, like, what would life be without time? Like, how would you do anything or say anything or know anything?
Right.
It would probably be pretty sweet.
It would be awesome, except when you got to meet people.
Well, I guess you would just go, you would still, like they did back in the day, it would just be the sun. But yeah, when the sun gets up over around that area, I'll meet you. when the sun's there, and it's kind of halfway through the sky, let's do lunch right around then.
I always think about that, like if I'm running 10 minutes late for something, I think like, okay, I'm stressing out because I'm 10 minutes late, but what does time really matter?
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing.
Man-made construct.
Time is nothing.
I mean, I'm rarely late for things.
We're just you are early. You are probably, if not absolutely, the most punctual human being that I know.
Yeah, I got it when I worked for the Magic, to be honest with you. On time was late.
and 15 minutes early was on time. And so,
And you can co-sign or not co-sign on this. I like to perfect the art of being there exactly on time.
You do it very well.
Sometimes you play that game and you end up a couple minutes late, which I do not like, and I don't think it's a good trait at all. But I try to perfect the right around exact time. And to many, that is already being late. But you are good at it. You are good at it. You are early. You are everywhere early.
Yeah, I just don't like to stress when I'm running late to things. And if I'm super early, then I can just go, okay, I'm here early. Let's rock.
For all of the things that were similar in our character, it almost sometimes feels like, even though I can tell myself I don't want to stress, I think that I have to have the stress. I don't know it, but I can wake up and think of 10 different things that I need to do and be like, I'm going to have it done by then so I can be here, there, be to work at this time and get all of this stuff done. And it never goes that way. And it's always trying to squeeze in all the things that I do to barely be to where I need to be at the time I need to be there. And I don't call it procrastination, but it's like I think I secretly feed off of stressing.
I get that. I'm very grateful that my son has inherited most of my chronological stuff because his mom habitually late for stuff, like one of those late, stressing out, etc.
I don't want to point the finger at anybody, but it kind of sounds like there's a theme amongst women in your life.
Yeah.
I'm not pointing any fingers. Sometimes that birdie just got to fly. You can't.
She tries.
You can't cage that birdie. And that's the thing. When you're also like the sweetest person ever,
right.
It's like
can't get mad at
like
her.
if you're like an arrogant prick and you're just late all the time, then it looks bad. But when you're just a loving free spirit of sorts, it's just kind of like we're just glad you're here.
My mom tried to hammer home punctuality because she tries to break stereotypes, and she goes, I want people to think you're late because you're on colored people time. So you got to be early to things.
Colored people times, that's a thing? Never heard that expression before.
Man-made construct.
Yeah, I never heard of it either, actually, now that you mention that.
No.
Yeah, what kind of circles are you running in?
Yeah, it is.
Colored circles, apparently.
Did it stick? I don't think I've known you. I don't know that I've had many opportunities to find out that you've been late, but did it stick to you or are you late?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I've adapted that from my mom. On my dad's side, though, I'm big on procrastinating, which is not the same as being late to things. It's just putting off.
Yeah, you got to just put it.
I do that.
I think there's absolutely something to that. I've been holding on to this for a couple days, and I'm sure you saw it, Drew. But the something about certain animals being by the ocean makes no sense to me at all, especially a deer.
From the ocean.
It's only in one ear.
Chase Hunter and Leo Peters admit it was a first.
Florida lifeguards are used to saving human lives, but on Sunday this past week, they had to make an unusual rescue. Beachgoers spotted a deer struggling to stay afloat on Flagler Beach around 1:30 p.m. Many people sitting there in disbelief at what they were actually seeing. Witnesses told the news station the deer had been out in the water for about an hour and a half before lifeguards jumped into action to bring it to shore. Many saying he was unbelievably far out there. They paddled and at one point lost sight of him because some rain started and there was some fog that rolled in, but they kept with it. And after almost 2.5 hours, these two guys got the deer onto the paddleboard, carried it to shore, and then had to walk like 500 yards across the beach, across the street to take the deer back to the woods that it ultimately had escaped from. And there's a biologist and wildlife expert referenced in this article. It says deer could have gotten into the water to escape a threat. They're thinking that maybe fireworks freaked out the deer and he ran off into the ocean, not knowing that he was running into the ocean.
I tell you, that paddleboard they used was real cheap too, 99 cents. It was under $1.
This guy.
I don't want to. It was a doe. I mean, I don't want to ruin it, but I also,
You said he.
I want to be factual. I said the deer was a he.
I thought you did.
Oh, I think I was. Yeah, I did. You're right. It is
okay,
a buck.
because I would have gone.
There it is. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
There it is. Yep. His antlers had not grown in yet, so it was it was a buck. I'm sorry, I did miss that. I missed that small little detail here.
Oh well,
dude. We've talked about this locally a bunch of times, and I remember when we went down to. What the hell was that place? Minnesota Key. Remember when we had that place?
Oh,
you guys
I do.
Came out for the day. They have this ongoing battle of the beach where, like, if you own a home on the beach, the people who live there believe that they own the beach. And in some situations, the local ordinance even goes as far to go and back them up so that the people who come to the beach can really only be on the part that is wet. Like, so wherever the tide comes up to, that's where people can be on the beach. And I remember, loved it down there, but the beach looked so tacky because people come out every morning and they put their chairs out, and it's just, the beach is just full of all of these chairs that are there for no reason other than to save the spot. And we've got boy band royalty is now at the center of the controversy. Backstreet Boy Brian Luttrell has filed a court order against the Walton County Sheriff's Office. The lawsuit claims sheriff's officials are not preventing the public from using Luttrell's private beachfront property. Jeez. If this isn't like the douchiest thing you could ever be suing for. And I'm always torn because, yes, it's the beach, it's the ocean, it's the Gulf. Like, the people own that. It belongs to whoever's going to the beach. But if I pay $5.5 million for a beachfront home, and then I've got you and your family burning heaters and putting up your flags in my front yard, that doesn't feel completely right either. So I don't know that there's ever going to be a proper balance, and I think they've dealt with it. I forget which beach here, somewhere in Pinellas County. Yeah, they battled with it a lot. They filed a petition against the sheriff's office on June 19th, claiming that law enforcement agency has refused to fulfill their duty of enforcing Luttrell's private property rights. His property extends from the road to the high water line, like I said. So wherever the waves crash and you can see that the sand is wet, from the wet sand to the water is the only place that people can go, which I guess you could post up beach in the, toes in the sand style, but that feels, what are you going to do? You're going to hire a cop to sit on the beach every day and protect your property? I wonder if it would be within his legal rights to just
shoot or
hire private security.
Yeah, of course. So it was in Pinellas, though. I think they passed that no umbrella law where, like, tourists, if you go visit the beach, you can't put up an umbrella.
Oh, what?
Was that because it was killing people?
No, it was because they don't want people on the beach. And like, they figure if they don't let people put up an umbrella, they won't be able to stay there because the sun's too freaking hot.
Yeah, and they will impale you.
They will.
They will fly away. And next thing you know, they will go right through your sternum and kill you in front of your family. So
Final Destination stuff.
Oh, dude, that would be a great Final Destination moment.
Oh, I finally saw the first one, by the way. The first one? Yeah, I'd never seen it. And a couple of weeks ago, I was just scrolling through stuff, and I watched most of the first one.
With the plane.
Yeah. The kid wanted to get off the plane, and he did, and everybody's like, ooh.
Dude, we went back and watched just the opening scene from, I guess it was 4, the one with the race, the NASCAR race.
Oh, the NASCAR one? Yeah.
Which,
what happened?
Which is pretty good. I will tell you, it is the dumbest thing. Like, there's no way, like, it makes no sense. Like, a car, like, there's a crash on the track, and then just for some reason that they don't explain, cars are just flying into the crowd. I mean, just all of them just start flying into the crowd. Tires, full cars, like, there's no explanation. There's just explosions, and, like, you think it's over, and then another car will just come flying into the crowd. But same thing, they're at the race, and this kid sees it all. He sees it all, and he starts freaking out. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. So they all run out, and some, randos end up chasing him out. And then as they get to the front of the track, it happens. And yeah.
Why do they have premonitions? Like, I don't think, I probably fell asleep in the first one. Why does that one kid, why is he able to see the future?
He just takes a nap, and then he sees it in his nap, right?
I think those answers were in the newest one, weren't they?
Oh, were they?
Well, because remember the lady who lived in the bizarre house who was scared? She had, like, all of those books about the premonitions and why people were having them. I didn't finish it, but I thought
they were linked to the families that were in that initial thing. And that was like
there were people that were connected to the initial one throughout all of the Final Destination.
Everyone who was involved some way had a connection to the people in that. There were, like, families of that.
Okay.
And that was, like, the last family involved, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Something. I didn't finish it, but I do know that that the lady who had that house, remember, she ends up being decapitated there when she gets out of her house. Should have stayed in her house. Should have stayed in her house.
The dad got his face eaten by, like, a lawnmower, and the next day they're all just at the table, and no one really addresses it. They're just, like, having breakfast and chilling and moving on with their lives.
You saw that.
Yeah. Oh, I'll never forget it.
I'm looking at you like, dude, that sounds crazy. And I'm like, you were the first one to see the movie.
Man, I really got to stop taking edibles before movies.
Dude, I think that's a big, I can't remember a movie from my life.
Same.
I mean, we were talking about movies that I've seen and haven't seen earlier, and to me, they're about the same at this point. The movies that I've seen are just one step away from being the shows that I have.
Oh, dude, and Sarah will tell you, I will flat out fall asleep during any movie.
Dude, I've borderline lost the capability to watch movies and shows. I do not know what it is, but it is one extreme or the other. I'm either passing out or my attention span just can't find the interest in my brain to sit there and focus. I will say, though, Animal Kingdom has been one of the first shows that has caught my attention to where I'm actually tuned into it. So good. Don't go anywhere. It is a very special day in the Boniverse. A special Drew Garabo birthday edition of Drew Garabo Live.
Thank you.
Make sure you go to the IG and order those shirts.
I haven't even seen it yet. I need to find it out. Tell people where to go.
At Dizzy from Air on Instagram. It's in my story. You just click on the link. Take you right to the site where you could order them.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen is a bunch of people saying they got them. So we're very appreciative for that. It's an awesome logo that Moose cooked up for us. So get it. You'll be able to rock it at the Beach Bash. Don't go anywhere. Drew Garabo Live is coming up next. Thank you, Diz. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you.
We'll be back with a free ballin' Friday edition of Senning Show tomorrow to wrap up the week. It's been a quick one. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked to the bone. Your keyword coming up. Promise.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. We are Real Raw Radio. 102.5 The Bone. Summer is here, and it's time to take that weekend getaway to Vegas, or maybe book that Alaskan cruise. But maybe inflation has kicked you right in the wallet. Well, leave it to Mike Calta to cancel his new order of 14 refrigerators just to give you the Mike Calta Summer Vacay Payday. Listen for the keyword every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get it and enter it in the free 102.5 The Bone app, and you could win $1,000. That's $1,000 that you can use towards a beach vacation, or to buy your own refrigerator, or to just buy a bunch of beer, stay home, and drink them. You know, like a staycation. It's the Mike Calta Summer Vacay Payday. Presented to you by Farah & Farah, Tampa's accident attorneys. FarahandFarah.com. 102.5 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. Now, a Bone traffic update from the Farah & Farah Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center.
As expected, 275 north delay approaching Ashley Drive over an hour now. Serious crash blocking 3 right lanes of traffic. Bumper to bumper all the way to West Shore Boulevard. 275 south still congested about 15 minutes or so between Ashley Drive and Dr. King. Westbound I-4 back to the Selman Connector. About the same delay time. Mostly standard delays on your other main routes. 275 north of Pinellas. Past 375 backed up itself to 28th Street. This is Eric in the Farah & Farah Traffic Center.
You know, it's interesting. Car insurance commercials tend to focus on the simple fixes. A busted windshield, a banged up bumper. What about the human damages like pain and suffering? Farah & Farah, Tampa's accident attorneys won't let big insurance forget about your pain. For a Farah fight, you know who to call. Tampa.
2001 Odyssey is Tampa's #1 nude club on Florida's West Coast with over 300 of the hottest exotic dancers. 2001 Odyssey has been voted the #1 nude club by Best of the Bay. Check out the world-famous 2001 spaceship and encounter the wildest dancing in Tampa Bay. The after party happens every night. Full liquor next door. 2001 Odyssey, 275 in Raymond James Stadium on Dale Mabry, better known as the Strip.
The heat is on, and when the heat is on, your AC is on. And when the AC is on, your money is gone. But Solar Bear has a better way to cool down your bills. Go solar now and get 12 months with 0 power payments. That's a full year of energy on the house, literally and figuratively. Solar Bear is Florida's trusted solar company, locally owned, going 10 years strong and backed by thousands of 5-star reviews. Stop letting the power company cash in on your summer, and more importantly, stop renting your power from the power companies. Call Solar Bear or visit solarbear.com and own your power before prices rise again.
Hi, I'm attorney Fran Hosh. Being involved in a car or motorcycle accident can be stressful. I've dedicated my career to helping accident victims and their loved ones. If you need an attorney you can trust, give me a call today at 866-LAW-FRAN. We will give you a free case evaluation and won't charge you any fees unless you recover money. Give me a call today at 866-LAW-FRAN, 866-LAWFRAN, or visit me online at lawfran.com. Main office, Palm Harbor.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here.
I felt like family from the beginning, and it made a rather daunting task very, very easy.
They really take the time to find out what you want or what you desire in a ring.
You have to come here. There's no other option. The customer service, the time spent to do what I wanted and what her vision was, there's no other place to go.
You know you can go there, and you know that you can trust.
The value was extraordinary.
They genuinely care about their customers. It's not just about the sale. It's about the people.
International Diamond Center, the people's choice for selection, quality, value, and service.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger, and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
In Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota. Online at shopidc.com.
Have you been to the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino? New members of Unity by Hard Rock receive 50% off at the Fresh Harvest Buffet, plus receive a limited edition t-shirt and up to $200 on them. And at the Hard Rock, they match your tier. Show your premier tier card from select competitor casinos for an opportunity to match your tier with the equivalent Unity by Hard Rock tier. And there's always something happening. Wrangler giveaway, Harley Davidson drawing, and a $20,000 blackjack tournament on the July 30th. Stop by and win at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
A lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, "This is my last hope." The next step is getting them in the right arch supports. Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. To see someone that is in pain, I change things for them. See how we can help you with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
Oh, hi there. This is Attorney Patrick Smith inviting you to tune into The Bone this Saturday and every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. for the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, where you can get all of your legal questions answered. So tune in this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on The Bone for the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hi, this is Steve Hurley, owner of Stingray Chevrolet, where we have completely eliminated the dealer fee. This will automatically save you up to $1,500. You have a choice because at Stingray there is no